All right, hey, we're back after a hiatus for me being sick and trying to get better and all that sort of stuff. Last time you guys kind of did mop-up detail. So you had basically defeated the guardsmen at Sklar's plantation, kind of helped the small villagers there that were basically his main workers, his main farmers and stuff like that, kind of put out some fires. You stole as much stuff as you could out of the mansion before it burned to the ground. You found some slaves, or at least some prisoners, some kidnapped people underneath the hunting lodge. And then after that, kind of started looking around and found that basically on a semi-hidden path to the west in the forest, that led to a hidden set of farmland that was being tended to by slaves that seemed to have been hooked on the drugs they were actually trying to harvest and things of that nature. So yes, it turns out that Sklar is a pretty bad person. After doing that, you guys tried to debate it. You sort of debated a little bit of whether or not you could catch up to him, but in the end decided not to go after him. So you headed back to Maribar, where you dropped off the carriage at the villa, spoke with the one lieutenant, gave him the information about what was at the plantation, provided him with the people who had been kidnapped, and then headed and talked to Captain Kewen, gave him more information, and let it slip that you had given the other guy information. There may still be something that comes of that. Either way, everybody kind of was a little bit happy. You got back to the ship, where you found that there were 3 new crew members. Let me see if I remember the names here. Let me find them. No, I have them here somewhere. Here we go. Keto Trenier, Melwin Penketh, and Conan Tregear. They were all basically teenagers of some sort, and she had gotten them, already started working with them for doing, figuring out rigging, doing rope work, all that sort of stuff. As part of that, you guys talked about it and decided to name her first mate. You guys decided that Aaron was captain, to try to, because there are 4 more people that were interested in being crew members, but wanted to speak with the captain and the first mate before they decided to sign on. So that kind of brought that to a head. We then decided to go and finally pay off Perry and Rat's debt. That took you to basically a tavern with a fight club. You met a halfling who you paid the money to, and then Praedyth really was interested in the mask because he had heard it was an alabaster mask. With a little bit of coaxing, you convinced the halfling to take you to the mask. He went away for a little bit, then came back and said sure, and he took you a roundabout way through the sewers to a rundown ramshackle theater house, where you guys sat in sort of the theater and with a throne sitting on the on the stage. After a bit, a woman in an alabaster mask showed up with light shine upon her, probably from her guys that were sitting at the balconies, and asked you what you wanted. Praedyth started talking to her about trying to figure out where she got the mask from, why she was a follower of Azara, which she was confused by because she wasn't. And eventually, though, something about her triggered a memory in Marcus, and he suddenly hummed a bar of a lullaby he remembered from 20 years ago. And that caused a start in the woman. And she sent all of her men from the room and then took off her mask to reveal Lidia Teach, Marcus's mother.
Wow.
And that's where we'll start today.
Not to deflate the momentum, but real quick for the level up, I switched one of my Eldritch Invocations to from Agonizing Blast to Devil's Sight.
You would rather have Devil's Sight over Agonizing Blast? What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? I thought Praedyth liked
Devil's Sight's pretty solid, though. I mean,
Devil's Sight.
That being said, I did notice that Dresd'a and Rhux have not also leveled up either. When I was looking through the class. When I was looking through it, neither has Aaron, by that way. Because I was trying to figure out if you guys were 6th or 5th.
Focused on being captain, I think.
No, I leveled up. I just didn't remember how to change the thing to say level 6.
All right. So yes, the woman takes off her mask, revealing. Put out the picture again because I had it.
I have just remembered how to do it.
Mm-hmm. One second. There we go. Here she comes. All right. So, one Lidia Teach, otherwise known as the Mask.
He looks just like Marcus.
She stares at Marcus for a moment before she says, "You look like your uncle." Which is an odd thing for her to be the first thing to say.
I don't remember my uncle.
Uncle on which sign?
She responds with, "You wouldn't. He was dead before you were born." But you are named after him.
Well, that answers that question. Good to see you again. Been some time.
Wasn't my plan to see you again, no.
Well, pleasantries then.
Why are you guys here? Why are you here? Are you searching for me?
We're actually here to...
No, I know enough that when I've been cast aside that there's another path for me, so... It's just merely a jest of the gods, I assure you. My friend here was interested in your mask.
Yes, I gathered that. Not
yes,
sure
absolutely.
why.
So, where exactly did you get it? Now that we're back on topic.
Where did I get this? Well, I got this. And she's talking to you, Praedyth, but she's staring at Marcus while she says this.
Yeah, I'm staring back.
Okay, she says, "I got this. A decade ago, I want to say. It was around the turn of the century. From a halfling. When I was in Calastria. For a time, I spent a bit of time in Calastria. Performing, and as part of that, I happened to. Calastria is a large city, so occasionally I would shop in various places, and so I came upon a halfling by the name of Remy. I think his name was Remy Bilberry or something like that. He was just getting started selling Malazan artifacts and other things. Clearly, this is not Malazan, but I took a liking to it, and he sold it to me. Oh, actually, it was 6 years ago. So,
Let's see. Remy Bilberry, you said?
Mm-hmm. Remy Bilberry. Why did you leave Castel de Magali, Marcus?
Well, the wandering bug, I guess. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yes, it's an
So
affliction.
perhaps you could tell me, does it ever end? The performance bug I see is still amongst you, although not quite the packed house. I do like the throne, though.
This is just a means to an end. I still play around here occasionally. But,
Not to interrupt the bonding, but Did he live in Calastria, or was he passing through?
He said he was from Calastria. I'm sorry. It's been a few years, and it wasn't something I figured I would have to remember. He was. This was 6 years ago. So 6 years ago, he was actually passing through here. 6 years ago, she was here. He was passing through here, and he was just trying to unload things. He said he was from Calastria. He said when I was looking at it, he said he had found it in some. What did he say? I gotta find it. I literally was just looking at it, and now I can't find the freaking thing in here. He did say he found it in a strange ruined temple, but I don't know if that's true or not. I feel he was probably just trying to drive the price up.
So, would y'all like to, maybe have a little family counseling session or something like that to kind of work out your differences? I'd be glad to facilitate.
Aren't we here to get one of our friends or something like that?
Well,
No, you already
we
got
have
him.
our friend. We've
we
done our
got him.
business.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Lydia's as surprised to see me as I am to see her, and I
That is an understatement.
Well, yes, it is. So do not worry, we will not be here long. So I will stay.
I'm not worried either way. Just because I wasn't looking for you doesn't mean that I won't speak with you.
No.
You seem to
What's going on here?
You seem to have quite the
mother,
complex.
son? What's going on? I don't understand.
There are things that you aren't meant to understand. Let's just say we have not seen each other in some time, and that is how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got it.
Well, all right. Don't you want to try to milk her for all she's worth or something like that? Get some favors out of her or something like that? Benefit us? I don't know. I'm just whispering this to him.
I'm sure you are.
No, I don't.
A little motherly guilt or something like that. You can impose on
she
her?
has given me life, and I thank her for that, and some talent, and she seems to have done well for herself, and I will make my own path.
Yay.
I'm assuming you're whispering that as well.
No.
Okay. She says, then I guess I did my job well.
You did. Although I do not have your talent in the musical arts.
Is Sarah
Written
still...
words sometimes.
Sarah still around? You notice
The last time I saw her. Notice a what?
You notice a sort of a... what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of a briefly pass... A expression briefly passed over her face of sort of like remorse or regret, maybe is the right word, when she asks you about Sarah.
Yes, she's still there and doing well for herself. She knows everyone. She's a very friendly person, as you well know. So,
yes,
Who's that?
She was quite friendly.
yes, but she has taught me some too. So, I like to take those skills and put them forth, and perhaps one day you can sing of me.
I haven't composed a song in a few years, so I've had no need to. I've had other, and she says, I've had other irons in the fire as she kind of looks around.
I see that. That's, well, is there anything else, Praedyth?
Yeah, Praedyth, is there anything
Nah.
else?
Have you said this was 6 years ago? Have you ever seen the gnome since?
Halfling. And no,
Half of them.
no, I have not. He has not been back through this way.
Are the masks dangerous to her, Praedyth? I do owe you that much, Mother.
No, the mask should not be. She's still here now, so
She's probably been.
shouldn't be.
But if you recognized it as such, then would others be seeking it?
Oh, no. That's me. Kind of lonely that way.
My heart is warmed by that. So
It works. Well, yes. She says, "Well, I'm glad that I'm not in danger from having a mask," because she looks at the mask and kind of turns it and looks at it again. I think there are far more areas of issue than this mask around here.
yes, the city does have quite a few diversions here that I could see why you would stay here for some time.
Yes and no. Oh, so many. She kind of like starts. She starts and stops a few times before she says, "This keeps me away from others. And I have found a niche for myself here that I couldn't find in Margali. Should I have taken a young boy along with me? I don't know. Taking a child around Nyarvine probably would have been the wrong thing to do."
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, it would. I wouldn't want to be an anchor and hold you back. But
not even being an anchor. Not even being an anchor. Piracy.
But you have found
rampant.
a place for yourself.
That I have.
Yes, that I have found on my own, unfortunately.
Are you sure you found about it on your own? I know what Sarah did. I'm sure you do at this point.
Who's Sarah?
She has done.
Okay, no, Hylough, you know who Sarah is because you used to work for her.
Okay.
Sarah was one of the dockmasters at Kaer Morgal. You worked for her on the docks before.
Okay,
6 months before the game started.
All right.
I don't see how it would benefit Sarah to have crossed me on this. As much as I know, I mean, you never can tell what truly lies in everyone's heart. So I guess that is possible. But there's no profit in it for her.
Plenty of profit being a cell leader of the Kraken. Believe me, I've been trying to bribe the one here for the better part of a year.
Well, perhaps she would do better back home. I'm sure she would welcome you with open arms.
Not so sure that's true.
Well,
I left things. I left things complicated.
I gather that, and as you mentioned, there are others searching for you, and I would not want those led to Sarah's door either. Well, she does have a lot to that could be taken from her. I do not wish that to happen.
Well, it's true. I don't think these people would be interested in her, though, and I'm pretty sure that her benefactors would protect her as best they can. It's one of their largest in the sea. So as a little bit of background on the side, Castel de Margali, and you remember Sarah as a member of the Kraken, is about 50,000 people, 60,000 people at this point. So it's a very large market for potentially, fencing stolen goods and all that sort of stuff, and getting things lost in the crowd, so to speak. So, and you remember the multiple times during your childhood of people showing up at Sarah's door and your door wearing clearly clothing and things of that nature that were far above the station you were residing in. So clearly she knows people. Now that you think back upon it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Sarah will have a problem. If you say she's fine, then she's fine. But I need.
When I last spoke with her, it's been some months. But I have some contact.
Oh,
with
give
her.
me a deception check on that one, because it hasn't been 7 months. It's been literally a week.
Hasn't it?
No, you sent a message to her. You got a response. It's been a week.
Oh, okay.
You did that from Tirok. You remember?
Yep.
All right, that's good enough.
Be right back.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully we'll speak with her again. I hear you people. I hear you guys, and she now sort of addresses all of you. I hear you have a ship at the docks.
Yes, in fact, we probably should be getting back there.
In fact, you guys notice Rat kind of looking, trying to make sure that no one's noticing. But he's
yeah, we're building a crew, and we're gonna go across the seas and see where the wind takes us.
Are you looking for
sell
cargo?
goods and stay out of trouble, hopefully?
Well, if you're looking to sell goods, consider this some free advice. Make sure that you talk with the Tremble. They're the ones that facilitate all sales in the city.
The Tremble.
And they would not look kindly upon you going around them.
Is that any goods coming from the port?
Any goods, period.
Anything?
Any trade.
In this city.
In this city.
Well, say we do have some goods, some alcohol and wine. We're just going to sell, but so it would be your.
Oh, be careful that wouldn't potentially get you in trouble with 2 guilds, not just one. The Brewers Guild does not take kindly to people coming into their turf. It sounds like, my son, that you have not truly taken stock of the lay of the land yet.
Well, many things are in flux from when I came here initially.
It's also not true. You haven't taken stock.
No, I haven't. But there are things in flux.
There are a few things.
The world just changed a little bit. Yeah,
just a smidge.
What was the name of this group that we got to deal with?
The Naris. The Tumbril. I put an R
Tumbril.
Tumbril. As an FYI to all of you, a Tumbril is a mechanism used for weighing coins, actually.
Have we heard anything more about the Tumbril? This is the first time we've heard it, or is that well known?
Well, you guys have actually already interacted with the Tumbril twice. They were on the banks.
Okay,
So you have actually interacted with them twice. They don't just run the banks, though. They're also they are, and this is something that you would have figured out at some point over the course of they're the Merchants Guild in the city.
Yeah.
So they facilitate trade. They also run the banks.
Okay.
So does the Trumbull make the trades and everything comes to them?
No.
Perhaps we should have dinner sometime, Mother.
The Tumbril, that may be more difficult than you think, as she kind of thinks about it for a little bit. But the Tumbril is just their facilitators. They help you find people to sell things to. That is what they do. And they make sure that the guild that is in town gets their proper cut. And basically that's their part. They're the ones that if you go to them, you can find out what other guilds are trying to export things and trade things to other places, and that sort of stuff. They work. So think of it as costers and stuff like that. So, in today's day and age, you usually have importers in a country. They're the equivalent of that. They're the ones that facilitate import, export, that sort of stuff. And then they take a certain percentage off the top.
Well, seems I do have some things to learn here, but it may keep. Perhaps another port would be friendlier, or perhaps there is someone who
most of the ports
might know ways around this.
Most of the ports in the Sea of Tears operate very similarly. It's a consequence of the Margali. Times, and she says sometimes my people can be crazy, but
a family trait, I do believe. Not only your people, but
sounds
well,
like
thank
you guys.
For this.
Well, let me give you guys a couple more pointers. Then, city is Maribar, one we're in. It's broken up into, for lack of a better term, 5 cities. So the houses, the main houses, the most powerful houses, run each of their section of the city as if it was their own city. They have their own guards. They sometimes even print their own money. The laws are slightly different. It's takes some getting used to. But
is this the regions, the squalls, etc.?
Well, so that's one of those things that's in flux. It occurred to me that when I made this stuff up, that each of the houses, there are technically 9 noble houses in the city, but only 5 of them are strong enough to actually be a viable, powerful faction. And so they run a actual parts of the city. So basically, that's what she's telling you, is that when you're in certain spots of the city, you may be in one house's noble houses area, and you're going to see one set of guards patrolling the thing and all that sort of stuff. In a different set of the city, you might be seeing something different. Like she says, for instance, the docks completely run by House Morven.
House what?
House Morven.
Morven. Okay.
Lord Morven, you've heard of him, I'm sure. Franco.
Yes. Was he the one with the son stolen?
Yes, his son is missing.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check. Or an insight check, sorry.
Okay.
When she says, yes, his son is missing, a brief crinkle on her eyes betrays something about that she might know something about her, or at least has more knowledge about it than she's kind of than the aloofness of which she's saying it is letting on.
Well, I do believe the guards have a lead on that now, so perhaps that will be.
She kind of turns and looks at you briefly and says, Morven's guards are buffoons. I highly doubt they have anything.
Can I roll to see? Because clearly Marcus isn't going to help us here. So
well,
can I roll?
You need to roll an insight to determine if Marcus is going to help you or not. You can roll an insight. Yeah, sure.
Perception of whether her crinkled face or whatever is causing it.
This is an insight. Because you're watching her do stuff. You're already watching her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't notice the brief look that passes.
God,
but you do notice that she seems annoyed with the dock guards in some way.
Well, as a favor to you, I will let you know that things have changed in the city. We have found some information out, and those who they know a little more than they did.
Interesting. Hopefully,
you were telling us more about the city.
Yes, so
I do love your stories.
So as I was saying, she says, yeah. So you've already him and his family run basically the I should be more clear about this one. They run the western side of the docks. The eastern side of the river is run by a different family. That one is run by House Defeshi. House Defeshi is There is definitely a rivalry between these two noble houses. Unfortunately for House Deveshi, Moravan is liked by the Duchess, and as such, tends to get his way more often. Those are the two main dox factions. I believe the Duchess likes Moravan better as well because he is the one that provides her the ships for the Navy. So you understand how the Mergali League works, correct?
I always am open to more knowledge.
Okay, so the way the Margali League works is every city in Margali League is, in essence, a city-state. It's its own government. So the Duchess here that runs the city here, she is the head of state for Marabar. But as part of being part of the Margali League, they provide each head of state of each of these cities, and there's like 6 or 7 of them in the league, provide a certain amount of money, a certain amount of naval ships, and a certain amount of men as common protection. And so when you hear about the Mergali Navy, really it's basically like 3 ships from one city, 5 ships from another, maybe 4 ships from a different one, all kind of working together as just in a common defense. Typically, so that's how Moravan has some clout here, in the sense that he's been providing the ships for this city. So that's literally how this league works. The league itself there's no one overarching, king or anything like that. It's literally
kind of like a NATO or
it's more of a
defense alliance.
It's more of a confederation than it is sort of anything else. Like Marabar sets its own policy for a lot of things, and it has its own set of laws and all that sort of stuff. Castelno Mergali has its own set. Let's see if I can remember a city or two here.
They're all independent states, but they bond together.
Yeah, they're all independent, but they're under the same league. They're not independent in the sense that they're all independent, but at the same time they recognize that individually they're too weak against things like the Searly Kingdom or even Dresd'a or any of the larger kingdoms on Kelvin. So they've banded together in essence a military alliance, a tightly knit trade alliance. Like they trade against each other to provide each other with some of the things that they need. So like bauxite from Marabar here tends to go to Margali and to Navigari and things like that. Navigari, which is on the lake in the center of Kelvin, tends to provide wood and things like that from the forests nearby and that sort of stuff. So they're sort of most favored trade nation status amongst each other as well.
Right.
You come to each other's common aid, that sort of stuff. That doesn't mean that they don't have little fights and squabbles amongst themselves. They clearly do. I mean, they're all independent states, so they're still trying to vie for the most power in the region, and even amongst their own league. So it's kind of a weakness, actually, if you really wanted to exploit it.
Okay.
But Castel de Ventimar on the southern island is another city. Marabar, Esperari. These are all member cities of the Mergali League. And that's just the way that this stuff works. So every time, if you go to a different Mergali League city, it's a different lay of the land, a different set of factions all vying for control in the city and all that stuff. But the general principles of the way the Margali work are the same, which is noble houses rise and fall. Who might be the current ruler over the city may not be that ruler in 5 years' time. They might not even be a noble house anymore. Like it's literally that kind of chaos in these cities. That being said,
Game of Thrones.
Kind of, not exactly. They don't do it by out and out war, but they potentially do it by
The political
war, Machiavelli stuff, or assassinations, that sort of stuff. It's all fair.
Okay, so House Moravan's rules the west
side of the docks.
west side of the dock.
Devesi
Devesi is the east.
Is the east side. I made this name and then realized that there's actually a city name for this. So let me. The Duchess is Contessa Salazar, but her last name's not going to be Salazar. Her last name is going to be Maribar. So,
Okay.
I realized.
House Maribar.
Yep, House Maribar. They she runs the city. Her family has run the city for the last 40 years, I want to say. Something of that nature. You know that in the 20 years that you were in Margali or Castel de Margali, the ruling prince or duke, they're usually called Duke Governor or Duchess Governor, changed twice.
So it's fairly stable. Or she has enough.
Maribar is fairly stable. Margali has been not.
No,
so
no,
stable.
no. That's what I meant. Yeah.
But I mean, so usually any house that can maintain rulership over one of these cities for more than probably a decade is either a pretty strong house or has figured out the right way of playing the game of politics to keep the right people on her side or their side. That being said, the last time the Regali changed was probably about a decade ago. So, it happened twice early on in your life. But it hasn't really happened since.
Okay. So Maribar owns the whole city.
Yes. Well,
okay.
I wouldn't say she owns the whole city.
Well, she runs.
They are considered the rulers of the city. Their whims and favors are what drives the other houses, so to speak.
Okay.
Because Moravan is her favorite, he got control over the docks, and he has been I feel he has been consolidating that power for the last 10 to 15 years to maybe make a go at something else. But we'll see. The next most powerful one after Moravan is House Messalino. Their power is, that of tax collection. They're the tax collectors. So they control the money that goes into the coffers of the Duchess.
That's a pretty powerful thing.
Pardon?
What was the name of that house?
Messalino. After that, you have House Zanetti. House Zanetti is one of the larger of the farming houses. But
how do you spell that?
Zanetti?
Oh, yeah.
Zanetti.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I was way off.
Yeah.
It's Italian, guys. What do you want? Like the names
I
you're
was
going to
going
see
with an S instead of a Z, but
that's fine. That's fine. I mean, in the end, you're going to see either Italian or Spanish names for this, like House Guerrera, House Diaz,
Maribar.
Yeah. So I mean, just so you understand that's kind of where we're going with this sort of stuff. Zanetti is one of the largest exporters of sugar, and that's where their power comes from. They control much of that export, much of that trade. In fact, so much so that they don't go through the tumbrel because they can do it on their own, and they're nobles. That's the thing here. There's sort of and this is where she kind of gives you kind of looks and kind of comes down a little bit. She says, the guilds are powerful because they're wealthy, not because they're noble. The noblemen have the most power. And at any point, Contessa could take away the tumbrel's power by confiscating the banks or...
so they're the nobles are the real power.
However, I don't think that is true. But I don't think Contessa would... Sorry. The Duchess, her name is Contessa. The Duchess would, and it's odd that she would call her very first name, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That the Duchess would really do anything to them because they have more wealth than she does.
Why upset the cart?
So, as you can see, it's sort of a fine balance here in the city. Factions going off against one another. and tug and war, that sort of stuff. I just get to play in the playground with them.
Sounds complicated. I would surprise that you'd rather not go elsewhere. You're more of a free spirit. You're not.
There are things that are holding me here.
So I blurt out because I can't hold my silence anymore. Did you know what Marvin Sklar's been doing? All he's been
Martin
up to?
Sklar, yeah.
I sigh.
Sklar, she kind of looks at you for a second. He says, "I've heard of the man. A warehouse owner of a warehouse. He rents it out to people. There's rumors. There were rumors that he had some, how shall we call it, interesting tastes.
Yeah. He's been the one kidnapping people and taking them up to his estate and I don't know, hunting them or whatever. He's a bad man, and he's like this wizard. What is he? Wizard? What was he? Oh,
Hylough, I do believe Lidia. This may not be anything that she's interested in.
Oh, okay.
She,
I'm excited about all our discoveries.
Actually, I am a little interested because some of the people I know that count on me to keep them safe have went missing. And so you're saying the Sklar has been the one taking people?
Yeah, like we think he took Morven's son.
Allegedly, we do not know that for sure, but
We
he
didn't
has
find
taken
him.
some.
We found all these other people though at his estate. He's fled. He's gone. Sklar is gone. Oh, I'm sorry.
I sit down. I just collapse in my seat to shake my head.
Interesting.
You see a mother that you hate. I see an ally.
Interesting.
Why would you?
So you say you found some people?
Yeah. We found like the butcher. Remember the butcher? He got took. He's up. We got him back. And we found other people. We don't really know who they are. All of them. They were
Possibly a baker, maybe a candlestick maker.
Yeah.
Where did you help them get back here? Where did you leave them?
Yeah. We went up to his farm, Sklar's farm up there, and he had all these guards that were enslaving people and stuff like that.
If you know people who are involved in the drug trade, they should probably go. If in the trade of this, they should lie low for a while because that has been Sklar was heavily involved in that, and it is being confiscated.
She's like, and she sits down in the throne, and then she basically picks up a little, like what looks like a little ball that was in the chair, picks it up and just knocks it on the thing twice. And then the door opens up and the halfling pokes his head in and he says, "Yeah, what you need?"
Better friends.
I
say under my breath.
Let some of our friends know that that their suppliers might be what's the word I'm looking for? Might be
inconvenienced?
No. Confiscated is not the right word. Compromised.
Oh, yeah.
And the halfling's like, "Oh, really? When did that happen?" Like,
a day ago.
Yesterday or
today.
The day before? Today, actually. Maybe yesterday or the day before. All right. Well, I'll get the word out. And she says, "Oh, and it's also possible that a couple of our people might be in Aragon's custody." Having this again, it's like, "What do you mean? How do you know that?" She kind of just nods in your guys' direction. He's like, "Oh, you guys can keep the money for coming here, for me bringing you here. Seems like you might have given me more than it's worth that." She's like, "Yeah, move along."
Glad to be of service.
He takes off.
The guy, I just made us like 500 gold pieces. Or whatever it
whispers
was.
under his breath, "I was going to pay it anyway."
Interesting. You guys have for people who don't really know the city very well, you have taking it by storm.
Yeah, the winds of fate just love us, apparently.
Yeah. Well, we saved it. Did you know we were the ones that saved it from the attacking sharks?
Hylough, I think that's enough.
It's funny that you say winds of fate, Marcus. Or this is not her. This is me. GM, short little GM break. One of the things that has changed as well is that the Margali have their own set of gods. And you would know the gods, guys. So I'm going to give you this sort of little thing. I just have to find them real quick.
We're the big three.
So the Margali believe in fate and fortune. That's why I say it's funny that you say winds of fate. So they believe, as I was kind of pointing out before, in the way that the city kind of works, they believe that any man can become noble. Like fate may blow their way, and fortune may blow their way, and they will become nobility. Or it may tear somebody else down, which gives them that opportunity.
So the opposite of Red Rising. Got it.
Yeah. So they truly believe that the roles of the nobility are not set in stone, and that even the lowest of the low, with the gods breathing in the right way, i.e., the winds of fate and fortune, can become the highest of the high. In practice,
what a noble belief
is the nobles kind of believe that too, actually, and so they work very hard to make sure that the fates stay in their direction, whether that be bribes or
this
assassinations
was started by the church
or whatever, But so the Margali have 7 main gods. Alvar, the noble light, he's basically nobility and light. To be fair, the commoners look up to the nobility. So if the nobility do change fashion or something like that, they will try to mimic that sort of stuff as much as they can. I mean, it's expensive, so they'll do as much as they can. That sort of stuff. The commoners expect things from the nobility. Like the nobility are expected to be patrons of the arts, things of that nature. So like they're the ones that are providing money to have beautiful sculptures made, to have playwrights write plays and operas and things of that nature. The nobility pay that to do that, and
they're the executives,
and they don't do it because they expect it to get them money. They expect art to cost money, not make money. All right, they expect that they're going to make money other ways. So that's kind of
patrons. Venice.
Yes,
Venice
exactly.
and the patrons.
Yep. It's very similar to that sort of stuff. So that's the feel of the city. Like the nobility make money, but then they spend a lot of money on things, which is why the populace doesn't really go after them, because plays and stuff and operas and poetry readings and all that sort of stuff happen around the city. Like you're literally in a rundown theater in the squalls. Like you would never find this in a Searly city. Like this is totally unusual to you, Iylis. Like this would never happen, because the people they don't have to pay for it. They just come into it, and they maybe have to pay a copper or something to pay for the people who are doing the work. But the nobility and stuff like that are the ones that are paying for most of all the actors and stuff like that. So that's part of the reason why there isn't like some massive revolt from the people all the time. They just look at it as, hey, at some point I will get rich enough and I will be able to be the ones that give back to the community, kind of thing. So it's a really odd sort of tug and pull and community kind of thing. It's really odd in that sense. But again, it's exactly as John is saying. It's like Venice, like 1400s Venice in some extent. So to some extent. Which brings us to the next part, which is so Alvar, the noble light, is
are these the gods of this city or gods of the whole league?
Gods of Margali. So the Margali culture. The second god is Iylis, wife of Alvar, mistress of Fortuna, mistress of fortune.
Can you spell that? Sorry.
I-N with a twiddle. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
There is Rose, the Ardent. She is the goddess of love and passion, and also the lover of Alvar, mistress of Alvar. And yes, knows about it. The interesting part about this one is that Alvar is the main sun in the sky. He's associated with that. Rose is associated with the companion star that revolves around him. So the mistress that remains ever close, but can never truly have what she wants. Aeneas,
Fortune doesn't want it.
Yep, Aeneas is the largest moon in the sky, as well. Then there's Inigo, the dashing. I picked it on purpose.
Sorry, what did you say Rose was again?
She's the ardent. She does love and passion. Inigo is the dashing. He's bravery and violence, and that kind of brings us to the next part of this whole thing. One of the biggest tenets of Margali culture is that they believe that bravery, forthrightness, honesty, that sort of stuff, gallantry, valor are the epitome of being a man. And so if someone says you're cheating or anything like that, then you should have a duel.
They're idiots. Excellent.
So
Got it.
You're lucky that Rad and Perry are actually alive, actually.
Interesting.
But so like, if somebody calls you out for not tipping, that might bring up a duel. If you and somebody else have a rivalry and that other person gets information that you were supposed to get, and then you don't get that information, you might challenge them to a duel. Hint, hint.
Oh boy.
Sounds fun. I like how this is going.
It could influence some of our recent.
So a lot of so it's that sort of stuff. Like slights are not taking well. And the conversely portion of this, which I'm going to bring this one out of order, is that Iñaki, who is Inigo's twin brother, is the god of cowardice, also known as the mouse, and he is considered
Iñaki.
It's considered a dark god, an evil god. There's no evil, good or evil, but people don't want to be cowards, so they have personified it in a god who is considered the lowest of the low.
Is there anything good about him? Is like the trickster god too, or is he just cowardice?
He's cowardice. We'll go over a few other things. Each one of them have their own saints, but so you have we just did Inigo. There's Bello, who is the patron, i.e. the god of art. Clearly they'd have a god of art because they're big on the patron of the art. And then the last one that I haven't talked about yet is Atto, also known as the betrayer, god of treachery. So treachery is also considered a sin, for lack of a better term. It's like
say that one again.
Atto, A-T-O.
Atto.
Mm-hmm. The betrayer.
Do they now have temples for all these gods in the city where they didn't before, or is it
well,
still...
they do have new temples, but they don't necessarily have them dedicated to these gods. They have them dedicated to the saints of these gods.
Okay.
Each of the gods has multiple saints. I'm not going to go through them all, but needless to say that there's somewhere between 3 to 5 for each one, and they're more just different aspects. So I'll give you an example of one. So Alvar has 4 saints: Saint Philippa, Saint Esterio, Saint Sansa, and Saint Constanza. They are in order: charity, duty, justice, and mercy. All things that are considered noble, and that sort of stuff. So I'm not going to go through all of them. There's like 20 of these damn things, or more than that.
So why'd you write all of them?
Someone was busy.
You don't need to know them all. I've basically got a name and I can tell you something. So if somebody ever said, "Hey, I want to be a cleric of, I want to be a cleric of life," how does that fit into the Margali culture? I can tell you exactly.
Who's the god of the sea?
The god of the sea is, and that one did change, so it's no longer, that temple still exists. It's now the Church to Saint Marina, goddess of
Marina,
the patron saint of sea and storms. Also known as the uncaring, because the sea and storms don't care who you are. She falls under Aeneas, the mistress of fortune. So she's sort of a saint under that god.
That makes sense.
So there is a church. In the church that you guys have been going to is a temple. Churches, temples, it's all the same name as far as you're concerned. But that church is the Church of Saint Marina the Tempestuous, actually, is what I have here. It's Tempestuous. So you've been seeing her. It's still the same Melora, all that sort of stuff. They still, in this case, they're still druids. All that sort of stuff is all the same. It's just the name of the temple changed. Instead of being a temple dedicated to Hainari, it's a Church of Saint Marie. The other church that you've probably seen around as you've been going through is the Church of Saint Sansa, the Uncaring, i.e., the Saint of Justice. And that one you would have seen in the district near actually where Martek, where Sclara's house was.
Are there multiple uncaring saints?
Yes. So the church.
Welcome to the gods.
Yeah, no. The whole point here is that like one city might call her Saint Sansa the Uncaring. Another city might have a church dedicated to her, calling her Saint Sansa the Just. It's all
interesting.
It's just how that particular
From a certain point of view.
Exactly. Another one might have her be called Sansa the Pitiless.
Is that SANSA?
SANC with a thing underneath it. A. So.
Okay.
It's Spanish. So.
Copyright.
No. I mean.
It wasn't based on the assassin. Okay, never mind.
No. It's not. I know what you're talking about, but it's not. It's this. Let's see if I can get it to. There you go. A little squiggly line.
Okay.
See. I don't know what's that one's called. So yes, you might. In fact, you might even have two different versions of the same saint in the same city. Like Castel de Magarli probably has multiple churches to, probably Sansa. They probably have 2 or 3 because it's such a large city. Now the Saint Sansa, the Uncaring, that church is run by House Guerrera. And in fact, Count Diego Guerrera is technically the high priest of that church.
Did you go over Guerrera before? What they did?
I did not. I went over Moravan, Massolino, Zanetti, and Deveshi.
Is it anything to do with Saw Gerrera of Star Wars?
No. The other one that's interesting to you guys, more specifically interesting probably to Iylis and maybe Praedyth to some extent, is House Diaz. House Diaz is basically there. If you go up the river a bit, there's going to be a cliff on the western side of it, where there is a bunch of stuff set up, including an academy called the Academia. And they basically control that and run that academy. That is combat. Think of it as a military academy. It is also wizardry. There's wizardry taught there, just not to a lot of people, and just teaching for nobility and things like that. So it's the only academy in Mirabar, and the only academy on this island. And I did mention Aragon from she had mentioned that name. I don't have what he does or anything. And the last noble house is House Bello, which doesn't really control any part of the city. But they do have a bunch of mines in the mountains to the north. So their wealth comes from mining and stuff like that. All right, so that's the rundown of kind of what's going on in the city at this point. I could go through the guilds, but let's not do that. No. Right. So she tells him that, and he heads off. And you mentioned that Hylough starts mentioning that you guys helped with the Sea Devil problem. Let's pick that back up.
Yeah. Those Sea Devils, they attacked. Well, we're the ones that gave them their eggs back.
Please.
Did you take their eggs?
No.
What's his name?
Splur took them by accident.
No, Leon, the salvage guy.
Right?
You know him. He took this. He found them again. I think he took them and sold them, and we were able to recover enough of them because apparently they can't count. The Sea Devils, they can't count, so that they were happy enough to stop attacking the city.
Until they learn how to count and realize
that they were short a few dozen, probably.
Interesting. Last time, you're right. I think the last time they were here was a few years back. I don't remember why they attacked that time. Well, good for you guys. You guys really have. You've been getting around.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have.
Praedyth interject.
Huh?
If I may derail us one last time, can I examine the mask?
Oh,
She looks at it.
he is quite single-minded.
She looks at you. She's looks up at you, Marcus, and says, "You have the strangest companions."
And quite loquacious, and on top of that.
Yeah. She gets up and comes down and brings you the mask and puts it in your hand and then stands right over top of you with her hand on the hilt of the rapier that's at her waist.
That's fine. An investigation check.
Sure, go ahead. I would say, hold on. No, you don't need to do an investigation check. As soon as you touch the mask, there's sort of just a tingle thrum that kind of goes through you.
Yeah. Very nice. I still would like to do further investigation.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm just telling you that something does.
Does he physically react, or does he hide it?
I don't know. I would say
that little.
I would say he
noise was in character.
Okay, and I would also say you probably do an involuntary shiver too. Nothing massive, just a ooh. Okay. You kind of look through this thing and turn it over a few times and
Wow.
I have to check your abilities real quick. Sorry.
I'm glad somebody in this party can roll because I sure can't. Crit.
Yeah.
Says made in Mexico.
Yeah, it says made in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy cow! Really? What is it with you people?
I've designed this character for a very specific purpose.
No, I understand that, but how can you not have detect magic, dude?
I don't.
No, you don't in your spells anyway. I don't see.
I think I switched it out last time we woke up because we were doing a fight.
All right, so you look it over and turn it back and forth, and when you look at it on the face when the face is pointing at you, it looks like a crude facsimile of what you see in your dreams. So there's definitely a resemblance. I wouldn't say it's exactly it, but there's a resemblance. Then you turn it over and look on the inside, and on the inside of it, it is mostly featureless in there. Like there's holes for breathing and stuff like that, and for being able to speak beyond it. Actually, there is no holes for speaking, just for some air, which is a little odd. And so you start to go to put it on, and that's when she kind of stops your hand. But because you got it close enough, you notice that there is some very faint writing around the edge of the mask, like the inner edge.
Does it look like runic or?
Yeah, it's runic. But remember, you can read anything.
Right.
And you realize that as you're kind of reading through it, you realize that it is an inscription that is a devotion to Azara. And the further you read it, the more you realize that the devotion, if done properly, provides the ability to do one divination per week.
Praedyth's gonna copy that down.
No. You realize pretty quickly that it's because it's the mask. You have to have the mask. Okay.
Which I doubt he can get at this current point in time.
I don't know. You haven't asked.
Now, I know this is going to seem crazy, out of pocket, maybe left field. Can I keep it?
How about buy? You could offer to buy it.
She starts laughing.
Mark is laughing too.
And then she stops for a minute and she's like, she looks at you and it's like, she realizes you're being serious at that point. She's like, for a price, I guess, and a replacement.
You may have realized he's not our negotiator.
How much?
Well, I paid $700 for it 6 years ago.
Like that.
I would take it. I would let you take it off my hand for 1,000 and a replacement. I mean, I can't be the mask without a mask, now can I?
Oh no, I understand completely. I
Just
want
put your hands over your head.
On her price that she bought it.
What you want to do? What insight on the price that you bought?
I want to do an insight check.
Okay, go for it.
So you can be a mask if you just put your hands over your head and have all your guys
I can't
squint.
afford 1,000.
Well, go ahead.
Mm-mm.
If she's a liar, she's a damn good one because it looks like she's not lying.
Well, what you guys got? I got 800.
Nothing for you.
Somebody spot me 200, please. And then what kind of, you want an exact replacement, like a replica, or you want something new? Some spice?
No, I wanted, the same thing is fine. Just a replica is fine. It must look like the same mask.
I'm just asking if you wanted an appearance upgrade. I'm just curious. Rebranding and all that, but no.
How hard would it be to recreate this? Just off, does Marcus know how hard? Well, I don't have
I'm
it,
sure
so
you
it
could.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, even from there, you just need to find a craftsman of some sort that could probably make a wooden mask that you paint white or something like that. You probably make something for 5 to 10 gold pieces.
So, what's the value of if we're helping you buy this, Praedyth? What's the value to the rest of us? Or do you want to discuss this in private?
The value, yes, the value is immense personally and party wide. I guarantee you.
Yeah, okay.
We can
elaborate? You can.
Yeah, now is not the time, I'm sure.
Now is not the time to discuss, but we can discuss. I guarantee.
Okay.
Can you remind me of the spell that's on it?
So actually, you know that because of the 20 and because you're able to read stuff, you realize that this is what is called, or what you've read about in a few of the small shrines that you've been able to find, is known as a Mask of Fate. So it it provides proficiency in the skills of deception and persuasion, and when attuned to by a Warlock of Fate, a priest or a Warlock of Fate, it doesn't have to just be. It allows the person, the Warlock or the priest, to make a single augury per day and 1 divination per week.
So augury
without
per
using
day.
a spell slot.
That's solid. That's really good.
Augury per day.
Mm-hmm. And a divination per week. So an augury basically is weal or woe. So you ask a single question that basically is weal or woe, or neither, or weal and woe. And so that's just the simple version of hey, if we do X, is it going to be good for us or bad for us? Divination, if I remember correctly, is a bit more involved than that. It basically, you will figure something out that will happen within the next 3 days or something like that. It's actually, it's not too powerful, but it's intriguing. Divination. Your magic and an offering put you in contact with a god or a god's servants. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. And then I offer you a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic crime, or an omen. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome. So, as of right then, when you ask your question, I will answer it in some fashion truthfully that assumes that if it happened right now, this is what would happen. But, if this happens 3 days from now, and something changes in the meantime, then it might not exactly occur that way. Just it's the cop out of, hey, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen for 5 days because I don't know, even though I'm the GM. I have an idea of what might happen in 5 days, and if you guys didn't do anything, then this is what would happen in 5 days. That sort of stuff.
You said it gives proficiency in what?
Deception and persuasion. And you don't have to be attuned for that. In fact, you don't even have to be a warlock or a priest for that. This is one of those odd magic items that anybody can use, but they only get one aspect of it. But if you're a priest or a warlock of fate, then you actually are allowed to be able to get the extra stuff.
Okay.
Seeing as how
will benefit us.
Okay, seeing as how I just saved the party 500 gold with my blabbering mouth, we can do whatever we need to do. Y'all decide what you want to do. We can make it happen.
But Praedyth, if you give Praedyth 200 gold pieces, he's gonna buy it. He's got 800.
Okay.
I think we have that in a party. Let's see.
I just saved us 500. We just got the look. Ka-ching! Here it is. You want it?
All right. So yeah, if they spot him
You
200,
haven't saved 500. You
then
saved them
he'll
100 because remember you've already spent the 500 to get Perry out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
We only got the 100 to show us here.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
And it may cost us a lot more considering you don't know what she is or who she represents. So
Okay.
You know exactly what she represents. You know that you guys are talking to the Fist, which is, and clearly she's the leader of it.
right, but we don't know all the consequences of that.
That's correct. That's true. I'm just trying to say that you do know what organization she represents.
Oh no, yeah, I mean
That
we
is
do
very
know
true.
she is in charge of one of the larger criminal organizations in town.
Who knows? It might
Good
not be
thing
a
we're
criminal-
friends.
It might not be a criminal organization, although she did just tell her guy to let.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
let
the
her
drug
sellers know.
dealers. I just assumed.
Yes,
But yeah,
the
we'll give
Fist
you
is
500.
the Fist is an organization that is.
Unfortunately, none of us brought that, right? Because I mean, I brought money just in case. I think I brought like.
You're gonna have to find her a replacement anyway. She's not gonna take it. Right
yeah,
now
we
until
gotta
you have a
go.
replacement.
I gotta go buy a replacement cheaply and give her that.
So,
Well, take a picture.
where shall we meet you we can do this? The hour is getting late. I'm sure my mother is tired.
You're correct.
I'm sure Lydia is tired, so I won't say my mother. Lydia is tired. We have taken quite a bit of your time.
She kind of looks around and is like, I do need to get back. She takes the mask from you, Praedyth, and says, we can discuss this tomorrow. If you wish to come to the... I gotta find the name of the tavern again. The Two Palms. We can discuss things there. That's where that's where you guys met to get Perry in the first place. The place with the fight club and all that sort of stuff. Hence the reason why it's called the Two Palms. Not for two palm trees.
What?
Bit of a play on words.
Well, I'll be there.
She's like, all right. If you really are interested in selling it, I will sell it for that. I just need a replacement.
We also are only going to be in town for so long. Do you happen to need the spirits that we may have? Perhaps Two Palms, which would go around the any red tape or...
I don't know. What is it? I mean, I would have to try some.
Oh, well, be happy to let you try some. We're bringing a sample tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
Always interesting. Thank you. And Marcus gets up.
Yeah, you get up and you guys start to head out. And before you get to the door, she says, "Oh, don't tell Sarah about me, please."
I wasn't planning on it. And I'm being honest, I wasn't planning on telling Sarah.
Oh, that's fine. She's just basically asking me not to.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
But we don't necessarily have anything between us, but I don't think Sarah needs to know that where I am.
It could endanger both of you. Or more so than you, because you already know the danger you have.
She knows about my danger. Did you never ask her?
I assumed you had your reasons. I was very young.
Yeah, she's basically implying that Sarah knows more about.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're saying, but that's what I come back with.
It's a question of whether or not you've decided to ask her or not.
No, I have not ever asked her what happened. He is quite bitter, so he is
okay.
Not ask her about it.
Okay.
So.
Well, in due time, I might tell her where I am, but now is not the time.
Yeah. Very well.
And you guys head out into the night.
Yes.
And no one stops you, and no one tries to lead you away in any particular way. You're in the dives, somewhere in the dives, outside of a theater. It's a pretty ramshackle theater, but it does look like it has been used. Like when you were inside the theater, it certainly needs repair, but clearly it's not so bad that people couldn't use it.
Yeah, it has King Lear on the
It doesn't
playbill,
but it's probably something.
All right, so let's get back to the ship and discuss why we would need this mask.
Okay, so you guys, it takes you about 20 minutes to get back to the ship, only because you're in the squalls and you have no idea how to get out, and so it takes a while for you to figure out the way to get out. But you make it back to the ship with no problems. And once you come up on the ship, you see that the new crew members and new and old are all currently standing at attention, listening to a lecture from True of some sort. You think it's a lecture, at least she's telling them something.
She always sounds like that.
And as you kind of get up there, she's like, and if the sea gets too rough and you feel like you need to throw up, front is not the right place to throw up. Side, right place to throw up. If you're like, and then she says, and storms, sometimes you might need to lash yourselves to the mast. That's what the rope is there for. And that's when Rat pipes up and is like, that's not what the rope is there for. It's for... True turns on him and says, really? You're going to countermand your first mate? And immediately it's like, no. Yeah, it's totally there for lashing too. Huh? Fall into line, you two. And Rat and Perry basically fall into line. She continues on going on. What are you guys doing?
Hylough, a word.
Hey, yeah. What up?
Ooh,
I
he's in trouble.
don't know where you came
where do you guys
from,
go?
and I really don't care. Okay, we'll go below.
You can
Actually, we'll go
go
to the
below,
captain's
you can go to
quarters.
the
Captain's quarters. Go to captain's quarters. I don't know where you came from, and honestly, I am excited that you had a wonderful relationship with your parents, but my mother is not to be trusted implicitly. You really need to be careful with what you say to her, because she didn't become leader of the guild, a criminal guild, by mercy and trust. Just a word.
Oh,
Just a
okay.
thought.
Well, yeah. Well, okay.
It's been some time since
yeah.
I saw her, so
I grew up on an island. I'd just be happy to see my mom. Sorry.
Remember's alive somewhere.
Yeah, she's not far, but whenever I just miss her.
you should visit her sometime. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
she would enjoy
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I just
Just
sorry,
be careful.
okay, all right. Well, I sorry about that.
Hopefully, it won't come back and kill us all.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
You guys are coming out of the captain's quarters after that, and True is kind of coming up, and she's like, she's got something in her hand. She's like, looks at you two and is like, hey, some fancy dressed fop came here and gave this and said to give it to the captain. Well, you guys say that he's the captain.
Okay, let's
I don't
everyone
believe
get
that for a
together.
second.
Let's all get together and read this. Everyone to the
It
captain's
is a scroll
quarters.
with a golden or a silver ribbon tied around it, and and some silverish looking wax seal on it.
Okay, so let's. If everyone wants to come to whoever wants to come to the captain's quarters, we can open it and read it there.
Okay. Going inside, you see as you look at it, the seal, the thing that the wax seal, the seal on it is looks to be of a a lily. So sometimes a rose. This one looks. You think it's a lily of some sort. That's what it kind of looked like to you.
Okay.
Do you guys want to open it, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Opening it up, you find some flowing script in Margali, which you know how to read, Marcus, because it's your native tongue. And basically, it is an invitation to the Westerly Ball at the Duchess's residence tomorrow night.
Ooh. We rate.
We have quite the social calendar.
Is everybody invited?
Yeah. What does it say?
Yeah. It's addressed to the crew of the Wormwood, because they don't know what you are. For services rendered unto to the Duchess, you are hereby invited to the Westerly Ball.
So, is there a skill for like high society to see how? I mean, I can assume it's you will be there or else type thing, but is there a roll? What would I roll to see if Marcus knows that? If this is a demand in this culture, or if it's okay.
You don't think?
Well,
this
he
is
did
demand.
say that they take slights pretty
Oh,
seriously.
shite. Yeah, that's definitely.
You don't get the feeling this is a demand, but as Aaron just said, they don't take slights well.
We don't want to get her on a bad side.
Yeah, and it's very clear that this is a invitation to this ball from the Duchess, or at least it was written probably not by the Duchess, but it is from the Duchess. So maybe there is something, I don't know. It's clearly you should clearly think of it as an honor. Is the feeling you should get, but at the same time,
yeah, that's not the feeling Marcus gets. Marcus likes he doesn't like high attention like this. This is makes him nervous.
This is true. It does state a time and a place. And I said the Duchess's residence. It's not really. It's the Duchess's residence in seat of government in town, not necessarily her main residence, which is in a different place. And it is also set for sundown on the morrow. So,
Drew, would you like to come to the ball?
Drew's like, nope. I've got to keep the ship. Remember? She backs away.
I would be happy to. I would be happy to take your duties tonight. I know how you. I feel you would enjoy this.
I don't want anything to do with the Duchess of Mirabar.
So, True, how can we reward you for all your labor here while we're out gallivanting, rescuing people, and solving city problems?
When you get back tomorrow night, I'm going to be taking the night off.
Okay.
2 Palms and I have a date.
Well, just don't get into trouble with those people that Perry did.
I'm not getting in trouble. I'm going to fight them.
Okay.
Wait, you're going to fight them in the ring?
Yes, it's Fight Club.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, perhaps some of us can go and cheer you on.
Perhaps.
All right, so tomorrow, yeah.
It is currently 5:30-ish. It is spring, so that you still got a couple hours of daylight if you want.
Dresd'a.
So could Praedyth go find
actually,
where to get this mask?
did you tell them why the mask is important? Is that...
No, I was going to ask him,
yet.
but I haven't gotten to that yet. I was going to ask Dresd'a one thing first, but
Go
go ahead.
I mean, if you're going to leave the room, I'll ask you before you leave. I'll say,
I'm not leaving the room yet. I guess I can wait.
Okay. Dresd'a, your friend, Ariana.
Yeah.
We left her with the guards
Why did we do that?
because
no one was paying attention.
yeah, we didn't do much plans. Maybe we should. Is that someone we should get out immediately? Is that
Yes.
yeah? So how much time of daylight do we have?
It's just had a couple hours.
So yeah, maybe that should be one of the things that some of us should do is go and she did mention that she wanted to be part of the crew. We need a crew, and she has abilities, and we don't want anyone else finding out about those abilities, and we don't want her to think that we betrayed her. So
Exactly.
just a thought. And Praedyth. So what is so big about this mask? It makes a fashion statement. What?
No. It does not. That's not the point. The point is what she has somehow stumbled upon is a mask of fate. You see, and it boggles the mind how she gets it and I don't. But that's not the point. I ain't gonna get it now.
Fate.
That's why fate works. You know what I'm saying? Now,
yes, the fate
what
and
is
1,000 gold.
Fate and 1,000 gold.
exactly?
Fate parts
Fate
a
provides
man.
opportunity.
Fate parts
You
a man
have
in
to
his
seize
gold.
them.
But
Now,
why would you
what
want
it
to speed
does-
that? You said it was helpful all of us.
What it can do is anybody who puts it on is immediately a better liar, and can get anybody to do anything. Well, not anybody to do anything, but it's better, easier. You know what I'm saying? And I can use it. If I can use it to, as well as be able to be a better liar, I can use it to speak to the gods. I can use it to speak to the mistress of fate herself and ask her what will happen. What's going down? What's going to happen in the near future?
That would be cool.
So would you have to knowingly know about this, or is it something if you wear it, it's just a gift of the gods, and you could unconsciously have this ability?
Well, if I want to speak to the mistress herself, then I would obviously you would have to know and be a specific type that none of you fall under. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not. It's just me. Sorry. Anyway.
So Lydia does not have any advantage from this by wearing it that she would unknowingly lose.
She does have an advantage that she would unknowingly lose, because even if you don't know anything, if you put the mask on, you become a better liar, like I said.
Well, if you already have proficiency in deception and persuasion, you don't gain double efficiency or anything like that. So,
well, that's true, but
one would assume that a bard probably has those things.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a bard.
Oh, yeah.
Then Praedyth doesn't say that. Nah, she'll be fine.
I would assume Praedyth wouldn't say it anyway because he wants the mask.
I know. I'll do an insight on that one to see if he's lying to me. Oh, you don't say anything at all?
She'll be fine.
I'll do an insight.
You get insight. This is true.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Like I just said, it only gives you.
It's a small bonus.
Yeah, it only gives you proficiency if you don't already have it. So
okay.
And one would assume that she probably has it. So
I don't have to feel that guilty.
You don't have to feel guilty at all. We're compensating her. Now I need to go out and get this replica made. Quick. So goodbye.
Quick.
And
it takes off. All right.
Very well then. All right. So who wants to go to? I have a couple things I wouldn't mind purchasing. I have some business also, so I need to. Do we want to meet back here this evening? Is there any reason for us to stay together for now?
It's up to you guys. The only thing currently. Well, let me remind everybody of the current threads, just so you have them. Martin Sklar, you don't know where he's at. You know he's trying to get away. Remember those metal axes, the dark metal?
Oh yeah.
Those things are still around. Dresd'a and Marcus have one. Remember that Dresd'a's friend is still waiting about the Eternal Eye. Praedyth, there's the thing about the temple ruins, although you're off on doing your own thing right now. Those are the big ones. Do you remember that there were some notes that were found on the sea spray as well that you could read, but they were in some kind of code? And Dresd'a has a treasure map.
I have what?
A treasure map.
Treasure map. Yep.
You got the only treasure map that might be real.
Cool.
only in a D&D universe you buy a treasure map and it's real. Potentially. Okay, so
those are the main ones. I mean, there are some other threads like pirates and slavery and stuff like that, but they're not really anything that are immediate stuff that you can do stuff with.
So I'm going to go purchase some things, and I can go and help free Ariana, unless Dresd'a just wants to do that by herself. Anyone else have any plans for the evening? Oh, I've also got to find that, see how much of a amount for selling that wine is going to cost us from the tumbler. Tumbler.
I found the freaking name and I can't remember what it is. The tumbrel.
Well, I spelled it Tumbrele.
Close enough. It's Tumbrel, so tumbrel.
Tumbrel. Okay.
But I keep forgetting the name of it. so
yeah, we gotta find them. Gotta find them so we can sell the.
Yeah, and that's probably City Hall, or I could just go to the bank. Actually,
I can probably go to a bank and ask questions
because they do it. So, do we have anything else to change into the bank? I know of a couple things. Okay, that's my plan. Anybody want to come along or?
From kind of out on deck, you hear, "Hey, don't forget that tomorrow morning there's those 4 people coming that want to meet the captain and the first mate."
Oh yeah, Aaron, you better be here.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
I think several of us can be here to help.
Yep.
Don't worry, Captain's got it covered.
Right. So who's going where?
Captain's staying on the ship.
Okay, Aaron's staying on the ship. Praedyth, you're off to find someone to make a copy of the mask from memory.
He's imprinted her face in his mind. He can make a mask.
Rhux, Iylis, Hylough, any of you guys doing anything?
I would be fine with going with Praedyth.
Okay. Iylis is tagging along Praedyth.
Rhux is going to go with Marcus.
All right. Hylough,
If he doesn't mind.
I'll go with Praedyth and Iylis.
Okay. All right. So.
And Marcus is going with
Dresd'a
and hit the bank. Marcus's player is going to go grab a drink, so I'll be back in a moment.
So, Praedyth, give me an investigation roll as you're trying to find a place that potentially can do this.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
So you wander up and down the streets for a little bit, but it's almost as if the Mistress of Fate is guiding you directly to the right place. As you cross over the river and into what ostensibly is the trades district, but it's actually just some house that owns a place, the nobles that own this spot. You start down the street and you go past a couple blacksmiths and you're like, no, that's not the right thing. You go past a jeweler and no, that's not the right thing. And then you come upon what you think initially is a stonemason, and then you realize it's a sculptor. And head inside. Inside, you see a variety of sculptures of busts out of a variety of different materials, from stone to marble to wood. One of them looks like it might be some strange, it almost looks like bone. As you're kind of looking at it, you're like, and you hear a, that is a very expensive piece. Ivory is not easy to come by. Not young man. Can I help you?
Well, I just haven't hit my growth spurt yet.
Haven't hit my growth spurt.
I need you. It's a rush job.
You seem to say need a lot.
Well, it's just right now. Anyway. Well, I can talk to you about the Mistress Fate later. Can you make a mask for me?
Depends.
Rush job tonight.
Tonight?
As fast as possible. I can pick it up tomorrow.
How big is this mask? What is it made out of? What does it look like?
Mask was wooden, right?
No, the mask was made of alabaster.
Oh, right. Sorry.
It doesn't. But you don't get the feeling that
Didn't really notice.
No, she'll notice, but you didn't get the feeling that she cared. Like, it's just something that will look the same. So, if you can make a piece of wood and lacquer it up so it looks shiny and do the right thing, that's fine too. She doesn't really care. You don't get the feeling she cares. Like, as far as she's concerned, it's just a thing to put on so she can hide her identity a bit and look menacing.
All right. I'm trying to think which would be more expensive, wood or the alabaster?
Alabaster. Alabaster is a form of stone, so we should have it made out of stone. Any particular or wood? Is there any kind of wood you would like to have it made out of? Mahogany, cherry, walnuts? Anything in particular?
The cheap one.
The cheap
but at least
one.
The one that will last a good amount, but it's cheap.
She kind of looks at your two companions and sort of, and why are they here?
Just
moral support.
Yeah, we're just here just to see what's going on. We just had nothing better to do. Tag along.
Curious bystander and a friend.
I see. Okay. So the cheapest wood. I can make it out of oak. Oak. Pine would be the cheapest wood.
What oak? We'll spring for oak. In all night.
And is there a particular color or anything that you wish or just plain oak?
It needs to be painted. Well, it's black and white. Praedyth's gonna describe the face to the sculptor.
All right, you can try to make a picture too. Okay, you start describing it, and she's like, "Okay, one moment," and she pulls off a parchment and some charcoal, and then she starts drawing what you're talking about. Give me a charisma roll. Well, the charisma roll for this. For how you can add your charisma skill or its charisma ability roll.
Proficiency?
Yeah, no proficiency. You're just trying to describe something. All right.
Yeah, that's good.
She continues to draw, and let me roll her thing. And eventually, after a little bit, she turns the thing over and says, "Do you mean something like this?" And you look at it, and the nose isn't quite right. The forehead, the eyes are too far up on the forehead. And so you go back over some revisions. And after about 10 to 15 minutes of back and forth on this, she finally has a drawing that looks like the mask. And you put it on, and you put that on, and suddenly you become the mask. Woo!
The game changes now.
You turn green. Waste not, what not. Anyway, no. She's like, okay, and this is the correct size, correct?
How big was her head?
Well, I mean, I just wanted it to be the size of the mask. The mask size was approximately human size, so.
All right, and yeah.
All right. Okay. I estimate this will take about 3 days.
What?
Well, just normal work. It'll take about 3 days and would cost 6 gold. 6 gold euros.
Well, can I pay you a little more for a rust job?
You say you want it tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get it to the quality that in overnight. Get the feeling she's wondering. I guess for 15 gold euro, I could probably get it done by midday tomorrow.
when this
If
did
you'd
we ever
rather,
discuss about what time?
Nope. You just said sometime meet their. They would would meet up tomorrow at some point. So.
Okay.
well, I
What
mean,
was
you
that?
know, you don't want to go. You don't want it to be like poor quality where she's going to get mad at it either. So maybe a little more time to have
If
it
we
done.
give you, if I give you the 15 until tomorrow, like maybe more more towards like around mid-afternoon, evening time.
I mean, I will do as
What
best
could
I
you do
can.
for me?
I will get it as far as I can.
Got enough.
How about if we? What if it's not completely finished? Like, and we could pick it up and then take it to our final customer and see if it's acceptable, and then possibly bring it back to be completely finished. Too, that's another way we could do it.
That's fine. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow. If she likes it, then it's fine. And I guess if she doesn't like it, we'll come back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that time of are you guys good with kind of meeting her at the Palms closer towards evening time?
I'm
It's
fine with
fine.
that.
It is a
Yeah.
bar.
All right. So,
Oh,
reminder: you got two things potentially tomorrow. At
Right.
dusk is the Westerly's ball, which you just
Oh,
got invited to, and you also know that when you get back from that, True wants to go to the two poems to do fight. So.
Well, yeah, I know that one. I forgot about that. I forgot the
So
ball was tomorrow. I thought it was
about what
today.
time is dusk?
About 7:30 to 8.
Okay.
We're in late spring, so
Are we gonna have to have new clothes or something like that? Because I mean, do we need like for this ball? We gotta get dressed up, or am I gonna need to get some
you
formal
were
wear?
invited by a duchess. What do you think?
I think we need formal wear.
Yeah,
Good thing I've got some.
I ain't got nothing.
Well,
I'm
if-
gonna have to get some. After
If
we're done
we
here, we'll
get
go.
if we get the math around like afternoon,
Yeah,
like maybe like 3-ish or so, and then go and talk to her, that'll give us time.
Yeah.
To go and then do the ball.
I will do the best I can.
That's all I ask.
Okay. Half up front.
So what? 15? She said 15, right?
Yeah, so you can give her 7 or 8.
I'll give her 8.
Okay. She takes your money, looks at the thing. She says, "All right, I will see what I can do. Don't ever say that Esmeralda doesn't ever bend over backwards for her patrons." As she turned.
Didn't know that was your name. I wasn't gonna say that.
Well, now you know her name's Esmeralda.
Perfect. Thank you, Esmeralda.
I need to get busy, so you need to leave.
Okay.
Right, so you guys are done.
Job is done.
Marcus and Dresd'a. So all you
And
know,
Rhux.
and Rhux, all you guys know is that you went to the villa, and that's where you left the people who had been kidnapped. With the lieutenant there. So you're not sure. You know.
Do we know where his house was, though? I mean, his.
Well, you know that you were in that
Red House?
district. That district was what you just learned was run by Deveshi, or not Deveshi. I'm sorry, Zanetti.
Okay.
At some point, I'll make this all work. I believe it's probably Massolino, actually, because Moravan is docks. Deveshi is the other set of docks. So this is going to be Massolino.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't get to before tonight was splitting up the city. So sorry about that.
No, it's unacceptable. We have a totally new world. No big deal.
It's not totally new. It's just now it's organized.
Yeah.
Now it makes
Well, I
makes
need to
sense
stop
me.
by the bank first. I'm assuming the banks will close beforehand. So what I could do is I can meet you two there, and I'll stop in at the bank real fast, and I'll head there as soon as I can, because I've got to see how much this is going to cost us. Sound good?
Sound good.
He's not talking to me, Rhux and Dresd'a. So.
Yeah. Rhux, Dresd'a?
Outlaw.
Yes, sounds good.
Don't make me talk. Okay.
Don't make me talk.
I had a barking dog. I'm sorry.
I know. All right. So.
All right, so you guys split apart at a certain point because the bank is one way, the villa is another way, or at least the place, the area where the villa is in another way. You get to the bank.
Yes.
The bank, heading inside, you're about to head inside, and you see that the one of the guys that's standing outside, which you realize is is a guard, kind of puts his hand up and he says, "We're just about to close. What do you need, sir?"
I have a certificate to trade in.
Please let me see.
It's quite important. I show him the 1,000 gold piece.
All right. He opens the door and he leans in. After you go in, he leans in and says, you don't seem to say, you don't hear him say anything, but he definitely leans in past as you pass him, and figure he probably signals or something like that.
Okay. Can I tell who he's signaling to, or just let me in?
He let you in. There's a couple people behind the cages.
Okay.
Realize that you haven't been in the bank before. It was Hylough before. So there's several cages that you basically interact with people back there. One of them kind of approaches one of the cages, one of the spots where you were thing, and she's like, "May I help you?"
Yes, I have
depositing or withdrawing.
Withdrawing.
All right.
I have this line of credit bond that we need for
you slide it through.
Purchase some things with.
She looks at it and she says, okay, there's a transaction. Do you have an account with us?
I do not. I am a merchant on a vessel. So
then there is a small transaction fee. It is a 5 gold oro transaction fee.
Very well.
It's a 0.5%. It's not like it's a lot.
No, I know.
Okay. Give
also,
me one moment. Give me
okay.
one moment to check the veracity of the seals, and then I will be back. And she takes the paper and goes into the back room. I do have
a question about the selling something in the city, and I understand you. Perhaps there's a banker who could speak with me really quickly.
That would be in trades. I will see if someone can help you while I'm checking this. She heads into the back, and maybe about a minute later, a man comes on and he says, "You wish to sell something in the city?"
Yes, we have some goods, some wine from one of your provinces which wants to be sold, which the maker is trying to find a place for. So we were perhaps going to sell it here, and understand I need to discuss it with the Trumbell, and perhaps you could find someone who would be willing to do this transaction.
How much trade are we talking about?
Oh, a small amount. John's got to find how much.
You don't actually have any wine. You have ale and whiskey, basically.
Okay, well, alcohol, spirits.
Yeah, I know. I just reminding you what you had.
Yeah.
I think you only had like 3 or 4 barrels. It's not like you have a lot.
No, exactly. We don't have a ton. We just got like.
I see. So a few barrels. do you need to have us line up a buyer for you, or do you already have one in mind?
I was merely wondering what the fees would be here before I went
It
forward
is
with
a
it.
1% transaction fee, basically a tax.
Okay. And how much if you were to find a buyer for us?
Well, that would increase it to 5%.
Well, that's very, very generous and doable.
Because,
Let me come back when I understand you're closing down. So let me talk with my shipmates, and I will. If we decide to go this way, we will come back and discuss it with you. How long does it take for the transaction?
if you wish us to find a buyer, it will take us a little bit of time to. We'll have to see what the wares are and see who is looking for stuff in the city. You say you were selling alcohol. We have quite the Brewers Guild here in the city, so it may be more difficult to find an external transaction. But we'll try for you.
Do they take a percentage, or is it they just don't allow any sale of any alcohol?
No, it's not that they don't allow a sale. It's just they have there are certain taverns and places in the city that only buy from the local guild for reasons, monetary reasons, I'm sure. And then there are others that there are other places that will take from wherever. And it all also depends. Like I know that for a fact that some of the fine wines from the northern portion of Kelvin will always be taken from anyone because we cannot make it here. But if it's just typical ale and whiskey and that sort of stuff,
brandy, ale,
then
stout,
then it's probably just going to be we'll be limited to the number of buyers we can do.
Well, it is a
But
small.
we'll see.
We're hoping to start a business and trade build a rapport. So hopefully it will be well received.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for your time, and I'll wait on my money.
As he literally turns, the woman is standing right behind him, and she sets it down from the thing in front of him and says, "Everything does seem to be in order." And she kind of brings up a thing. Any particular denominations you would like this to be in?
Gold and platinum is fine.
All right. She pulls from under thing. She pulls out like an iron box and opens it up, and she counts out she counts out
70 platinum and
70 platinum,
300 gold.
300 and 395 gold. 295. Sorry, 295.
Okay.
And hands it to you.
Thank you. And I apologies for coming so late, but business is business. And I will leave and go meet them.
Okay. All right. So you head off. And those you guys, Dresd'a and Rhux, make it into the appropriate area. Not too long after he's kind of been starting to talk trade. And asking around a little bit, you're able to figure out where the jail is, for lack of a better term, because it's probably where they would have been taken. And about 5 minutes later, you're standing outside of, in essence, a watch house. What do you want to do?
Is it all of us?
No, it's just Dresd'a and Rhux.
I thought Marcus came with us.
Marcus is currently at the bank.
Yeah, I'll catch up, is what I said.
So I'd like to spend some time surveilling it and kind of casing the joint.
Okay. Dresd'a starts casing the watch house. Because, all right. Sounds good.
I'm watching the watch house.
Yeah, you kind of move around and look around.
In the name, that's what you do to it.
There's a gate that's currently open. You can see some people inside training. The uniforms are slightly different than what you saw from the dock watch guys. There's still sort of a theme that seems to be going through the city of silver, of a sort of a silver kind of accents on whatever uniform it is. Sometimes the uniform is black, sometimes it's yellow or leather or something like that, but there's still sort of a silver accent around all the stuff. So at the very minimum, even if the houses have their own guardsmen of some sort, they're at least all trying to have some kind of uniformity to it. You see them kind of doing what you've seen in the dock watch house before as well, which is training. Maybe not new recruits. This doesn't look like new recruits, but they're definitely doing some training exercises. Coming around, like this is in the middle of the block, but there are some small alleyways on either side that kind of just go a little bit and then stop at another building. That's kind of all you figure out about it. While you're doing this, the two guardsmen that are standing just inside the guards door kind of look at you a little oddly, but that's about it.
Especially, yeah, to step out for a second.
I don't know what Rhux is doing.
Andy. So Kat had to move the car because apparently there's some fire trucks in front of the house next door. Wonderful.
All right. I don't know what they were going to do next because Andy's not responding and, well, she's gone. So,
yeah.
Well, I guess now is a good time to mention that on board the ship, Aaron is sort of, one, getting ready to meet the people in the morning, but two, he's getting ready, sort of preparing for a little expedition to the Ironwood tree.
What?
Oh, I see. Yes. I remember now. I know what you're saying about now. Yes. Okay.
Is that the one that was on a plantation?
Yes, the one that's
cool.
over by the drugs. Cool. All right.
I'm rubbing off on people. Excellent. About time everyone takes my lead, not Hylough.
All right. So you're planning all that sort of stuff. Dresd'a and Rhux.
Dresd'a's still outside. Yeah. Andy just wrote me. Yes, Andy. He just texted something.
I don't see anything.
No one can hear you.
No, we cannot hear you, Andy. He's saying, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, he just left probably to fix it. I don't know.
No one can still hear you.
Have you tried turning your headset on and then back on? Or no, off and then on.
On and then on.
Technical difficulties. Always fun.
Yeah. No one can hear you. No one can hear you scream.
Yeah, I just typed it to him. Still no luck.
Maybe you should unmute yourself.
I'm not muted.
Oh, now I can hear you.
There you go.
There you are.
Now we can hear you.
Hello?
Sounds like
That's
you
back
were
too.
muted.
Everybody's back.
Oh, sorry, fire trucks.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you,
Okay,
Andy.
for some reason, my input was working earlier when we talked about going to the thing, and at some point it broke itself. That is so weird.
Yeah, we heard you when you said you're
been
going with us, but
I've been trying to talk for the past 4 minutes.
We've been trying to listen.
Oh, we've been listening. We're just not hearing anything.
Yes, I was saying that I had missed I had only remembered the part where Marcus was saying what he was going to be doing, and that's what I was tagging along for. I don't remember what Chris was saying.
So I stopped at the bank, and you and Dresd'a are at the guardhouse
Yeah, standing
And you
outside
can
the
either go in
guardhouse
and
and
get.
Dresd'a is casing the place,
Yes, I know
but
what's
the gate
happening,
is
but
open.
I don't.
So
I know what's happening. I don't remember why we're here. I missed
to
that.
find Ariana.
Yeah,
Okay.
The
trying to.
girl who
She's at
is
the
a
guard.
wizard.
She's at the guard.
Yep.
Okay. Why are we staring at the?
That's because you're dealing with Dresd'a, so you guys can go in or not go in. It's completely.
So I guess Rhux is looking confused. Like, we can't just go in the build. We can't just go in.
Well, I imagine we can, but I want to check it out before we. I don't want to just walk in.
What? But the door's open.
I know, but mimic.
Yes, of course. The entire building is a mimic. That's true.
Mimic,
Yeah,
a thing you've never ever seen in this world.
Yeah.
So far.
No, I just
Thank God.
kind of being cautious. See if there's any suspicious activity going on outside, or do guards look flustered like they may?
As you
She's
say
a wizard.
that, the guards inside say, "Yes, there is suspicious activity going on outside."
Well, no,
they don't say that. It's just funny.
I just, like I said, I wanted to see if I could get a sense of whether they had figured out she's a wizard and were getting upset or something like that. That's all.
I don't
think they don't hate wizards out here, do they?
Yeah, this place
They don't
doesn't hate the
care.
wizards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't hate.
Good. Everything looks okay. We go in.
All right. So you guys head in.
Fantastic. We go in the building.
Well, you head in through the gate.
She is an unusual character anyway. It's not like this is the weirdest thing she's ever done.
The two guards kind of look at you briefly and nod, and one of them says, "May I help you? What do you guys need?"
We're looking for Ariana. She was going to hit the ride with us.
Andy, it was better when your thing was muted.
A lot of background noise.
There's a ton of background noise there, dude.
Let me.
I can hear everyone.
I mean,
Your input sounds like it's your webcam again or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, it sounds like TV.
I
There
love
you
that
go.
your TV is so wonderful. So you head in, and the guard says, what can we do for you? You need to report a crime or anything?"
No, we're just we're looking for a chick we dropped off here named Ariana. She wanted to get a ride home with us.
Were you out drinking? No. The one says, "Ariana, is this one of the people that were brought back from the plantation?"
Yeah.
I don't know if we fully got all their names. If you would like to come with me, we can see if she's here.
Sure.
The one guard nods at the other one, and this one kind of walks in and heads towards. So the layout of this watch place is similar to the ones in the docks. So one side looks to be sort of offices and things like that. The other side seems to be more the jail. So he heads over towards the jail side and opens the door and walks into there. And it looks like they have a couple of different ones in this one. They have actual jails, but then they also have what looks to be a room where they potentially probably is a processing style room where they process people to go into the jail, but it's also not necessarily locked or anything like that. So they can also use it as just a place for people to sit in general if necessary. In there are 4 people. The butcher is gone, probably because he lives here in the city and he was like, "I can go to my place, just leave me alone." There's 2 guys. One of them was the guy that was very, very, very emaciated and sickly. It looks like he's currently drinking something, and maybe he looks a little less wan than he did before. So it looks like they're getting him food and water. And then there is
Hello. Oh,
yes. And then there is there's
sorry, I'm fixing the mic.
There's Ariana also sitting back there, kind of sitting just with her knees up to her chest, kind of just sitting there. And she's not rocking or anything. She's just sitting there.
Go up to her and let her know we're getting ready to head to was it Emmerdale?
Well, she notices you as you guys come up, and the guard says, "Is any one of these someone?" And you kind of just walk straight to her.
Sure did. We got this.
Emmerdale. Okay.
And that where
She
she
does
wanted
recognize
to
you.
take-
I'm trying to get to there. Yes.
Well, we got room for it if you'd like to come.
Okay.
I you'll probably be expected to do some minor chores and stuff like that. We obviously feel you probably don't have money to pay for full fare, but if you don't mind doing some chores to earn your keep, then there you go.
I suppose
just
that's
cooking, clean,
acceptable.
kind of stuff. All right.
She is kind of just. She's still acting the same way she was before, like definitely skittish. Is probably the right word. And she also keeps on glancing at the two guys that were in the room there. Every so often. And she finally pipes up. She says, "We're ready to go now."
When were we leaving?
Probably won't be. Well, you're not. I'm not there. We won't be leaving for a couple of days, at least.
Can she come stay with us?
Yeah.
It'll probably be a couple
why
of days,
not?
but why don't you come stay with us so you don't get lost or anything like that?
Okay.
As long as you feel comfortable.
The guard back there is like, so he says, "You know these people, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's the one that helped." And he's like, "Oh, one of the people that helped. Ah, okay. If you would, we just need to have you provide a little bit of information, so in case we have any follow up for the magistrates." I've already taken her statement, but at the same time, if we ever do catch up to any of these guys in the future and we are able to prosecute them, then we'll potentially need them as a witness.
Nope.
Ariana kind of gets up and comes a little closer and says, "Okay, then let's go." And she starts following the guard out. You follow behind. They go across to the other side into one of the offices, and that's when the guard looks at you guys and says, "The ship name?"
It's the Widowmaker.
Widowmaker.
Which docks, east or west?
Yeah.
Best.
West.
The west one. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
I forgot which one we were in.
All right. That'll be good enough for now. You say you'll be leaving in the next couple of days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your destination?
Emerald.
All right. Thank you very much. We release you on your own recognizance. Ariana's like, "Hey, let's." And
Can I roll insight on the fact that she seems worried about these people? She said that she glanced at them.
Yeah, if you want.
Oh.
I mean, she's been glancing at people, but she seems very skittish of everybody. So
that's true.
So no, it doesn't really seem any different than anything else.
Cool.
All right. So you guys start heading out the watchhouse, and that's when Marcus catches up to you.
Ah, good. You any worries? Ariana, good to see you again.
No worries.
Yeah.
We stared at the guardhouse for a while before we went in, but otherwise it's pretty good.
I'm sure they loved that.
Yep. Wasn't weird at all.
Excellent. Well, I do have this for you. I had found a bill of lading. I can't think of what it's called. CDs. I have it written down. Anyway, I found some funds for while we were searching the house. Letter of marque, and it was 600 gold. So everyone's getting 75. So here's your 75, and Dresd'a, here's your 75.
Fantastic money. We love it.
What's wrong, Hylough?
He's
I'm
not
not there. I'm just.
He's not there.
Spirit of Hylough is laughing.
The spirit of Hylough is the spirit of Morpheus that's laughing.
Yes, something like that.
I feel like I have more money than I have written on my thing, but I don't remember anymore.
So you guys go, but Ariana goes pretty slowly. By the way, she's not walking very quickly.
We probably need some clothing. Perhaps we should stop by the tailor to find something off the rack for our event tomorrow.
Well, you can look for various tailors. You got maybe about an hour before sundown.
Okay.
If you want to try to find a tailor, then give me an investigation check.
I'm looking for a tailor too.
Yes. Then you find a different.
I'm looking for a haberdashery, actually.
Find and give me an investigation check. Mostly just to determine how long it takes you to find one.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Lord.
Okay. You are slowed down by Ariana because she's rowing very slowly.
I was gonna ask if I could if I noticed there was a reason.
No. Again, remember when Dresd'a took the thing off her, she screamed for a bit. So something. I mean, she's probably just got. Who knows what happened to her?
PTSD.
Who knows what happened to her?
I definitely know now. Did this happen in the one episode? Did we meet her in the one session I wasn't here?
That's a lot of sessions, so I can't.
The manor house where we were.
No, I've been here pretty much every session. I don't remember
the manor house when we found people underneath. I don't know if you were there for that actually.
I think it was probably the one because I remember we stormed the place. It was
the second part of it,
but it was right after. Yeah, I wasn't there for that one. I missed that session. That's why I'm confused. Okay.
She's a magic user. She was enchained, and Dresd'a popped the necklace, which we still own, or bracers. I can't remember what they were.
It was a collar.
And she can now get her magic. She charmed Dresd'a, by the way, but
she did.
That's neither here nor there. She knows magic, and she wanted to get away.
It takes you quite a while to find a place. You wander around for a bit. And you finally find a place.
City in circles.
And you finally come into a place. As you walk in, you see Hylough, Iylis, and Praedyth all trying on clothes.
Huh. This looks great on me. I don't know about you guys.
Well, the color looks good on you, but off the rack is not something that's really a real thing in medieval times, so it's probably a little bit big or something like that on you.
Yeah, they'll have to.
Looks great on me.
Tailors.
I think I should wear it loose like this. What do you think?
The man who's helping you, Ignacio, says, "Whatever you want, sir."
Sweet. I've been looking for some sick new robes.
It is kind of robe-like. Give me a color. What's the color of it?
Is it purple?
If you want it to be.
I want it to be a royal purple.
That's a little more difficult because it's mostly for royalty. But
no, just like a darker purple.
Yeah, you're able to find something like that in sort of that sort of thing.
New character model.
There you go.
It's up to you. These are this is definitely, you're somewhat deep into this district. There's as you kind of came into this spot, it was you noticed initially some tanneries and stuff like that down closer towards the river, and as you kind of went away from the river, it turned into various initially cobblers and stuff like that for shoes and things, and then eventually more of a simple wool or linen spun kind of clothing. And a little bit further on is when you finally came upon this particular shop, which is fine, but not super. This is not what you would call the luxury area of the part. You figure this is probably something you can probably afford, as opposed to a little bit higher up. But up to you if you want to keep trying.
Right.
It's speaking of affording, you each get 75 gold. We came into it, so hand it to the three of you. I will do it quietly, so the shopkeeper won't necessarily see it. It's not going to be obvious.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to try to buy some clothing, something that is relatively plain but nice. I like to blend.
So you can find a decent type of clothing. The question becomes: do you want to buy something that's more costumey, or something that's just a fine set of clothing?
I just want a fine set of clothing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping the robe is nice.
You guys are able to find something in this shop. Working with what did I call his name?
Ignacio.
Ignacio, thank you. Working with Ignacio, each of you are able to find something that fits your needs.
Even Rhux?
If you so desire. I mean, Alex are not unknown here in the city. There's just not many of them. In fact, I'm pretty sure I gave a percentage for. No, that was a different place. Yeah, I mean, they're not unknown here in the city. There's at the very minimum, there's escaped slaves that live here and stuff like that. So there's probably more Alex in the squalls than there are normally what this guy works with. But it's not unheard of for some Alex and Naga to adapt well enough to slowly work their way up in some of the societies. So it's just very rare. But so he struggles a little bit to dress you, but once he understands kind of what you want and what you're looking for, he finally figures out then how to avoid the tail in certain ways. Eventually he finds something that will work for you. What the color is, what the fit kind of stuff is, that's up to you guys. In the end, it's going to cost, probably for Rhux, it's probably going to cost 20 gold. For the rest of you, it's going to cost like 16 or 17.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm small. Will it cost? Is it cheaper?
You can probably get away with it for 12. All of this though is basically going to be ready tomorrow because it's not off the rack. You're fitting and things like that. It's not really a rush job though. I mean, he's just like it'll be ready mid-afternoon tomorrow. Basically, it's mostly just some tucking here and there and that sort of stuff. Although Rhux is going to take a little longer because that tail thing.
What can I say?
He's gonna
be
have,
like that.
He's gonna have tails. He's gonna be in his tails.
Yes, 3 tails. 3-tailed fox.
So Marcus gave us 75, and then this is what did you say? 17.
17, yeah.
Rhux will pay 20 for his.
I would say it's 16 unless you want some kind of hat or something like that. In which case, then it's 17.
Oh.
Gotta have a hat.
Gotta have a hat.
Gotta have a hat.
I'm just saying. current Mirabar fashion is a hat with a feather. So.
Oh, it's Musketeer season. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't want. Actually, I'll go without a hat. Like I said, I want to blend. I don't want to be any very conspicuous or bright and shiny.
Okay. So like I
First
said,
time in my life I ever got dressed up.
16 without a hat, 17 with.
Okay, so I'll just take the 16 actually.
Okay. What about you, Dresd'a?
You're on mute.
Rhux is trying to decide if he wants a hat or not.
Iylis, hat or not?
I think I'll pass on the hat.
Okay. Hylough, were you getting the hat?
Oh yeah.
All right.
But not too ostentatious.
Oh no, it's basically a brimmed hat with a feather in it. That's really all it is.
Oh, Rhux isn't interested then.
It's a fedora.
Praedyth.
Yeah, we're just trying to decide. It's
Praedyth gets
16
that.
if you don't get a hat, 17 if you do get a hat.
Yeah, Rhux will not. It's not
Gold.
gold.
Except for Rhux, he's 20 and Praedyth is 12. 13 with a
I'm
hat.
interesting. What can I say?
Yeah, something like that.
Dresd'a, are you buying? Are you partaking?
Yeah,
You're gonna need to go to a girl's shop.
I'll see about a dress, I guess.
You gonna buy a dress or not?
They got any jewelry here, or is it all clothing?
No, this is clothing. This particular shop. He can recommend a place if you'd like, but for jewelry.
Do they have like dressy women's, like a suit instead of a dress?
It's not that kind of fashion yet.
Okay. All right. I'll get a dress.
All right.
Nothing.
Ironically, the dress is only 15.
Okay.
What? Women's fashion is always more expensive.
Not in this case. Not for this tailor, anyway.
Okay.
Women's fashion is more expensive because of the jewelry, not because of the clothing.
Ah.
All right.
Will we pick it up tomorrow?
Yes, you can pick it up tomorrow afternoon. Thank you for your patronage. That's like, you just dropped like 100 and some, about 100 gold for this guy, so he's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Now I know who to call upon when I require a disguise.
23, 33, 46, 77, 97, so basically just about 100 gold. So, and what are you guys doing next?
Is there a weapon shop in the area? Or is it too late? Are the shops closed yet?
By this time, you're pretty much near dusk, so.
Okay. So I think I'm ready to head back to the ship, I guess.
Yeah.
I will give Cole his 75 gold. Did I give everyone 75 gold?
Yeah, everyone else was there except for Aaron.
Okay. And I'll give True 75 gold. That's her part of the haul.
We saved Perry already? Is that something else we also did last session?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess set watches and get ready for tomorrow.
Okay, you guys get back to the ship. Aaron's there. He kind of.
Cole, I give you 75 gold.
Yeah, when you go into the captain's thing, open the door, you see him kind of put a few things into a chest, and then close it up.
Okay, can I do a perception to see what it was?
He does it pretty quick.
Okay, no big deal. So, yeah, here's a section I explain. I found some gold certificate, and this is your section of it.
Thank you.
And I would propose from now on that we give an extra part of any treasure we find to the ship, and for purchases for maintaining the ship. But we can talk about that later.
So you guys bring Ariana Dresd'a onto the ship.
Yes.
And she kind of looks around, and True kind of notices what's going on, and so the three of you kind of speak for a bit and then head down into the below decks. And True takes her down below decks and starts introducing her to the various other members of the crew.
And I will.
Do you want her to have her own separate room for the time being, or because you do have some availability?
Yeah, for the. I mean, I think socializing would probably be good unless she acts like she. I mean, I think it'd be better if she stayed with the crew, with the females of the crew anyway. Is my thought. What does everyone else think?
Yeah.
Socializing would probably get her back on track, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Anything that might make her feel a little more at home.
Yeah.
So I've heard from every single guy. Dresd'a, what do you think?
She seems on edge.
Exactly.
I don't know what Cat's doing.
What?
What?
Are you okay? Are you okay with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
Okay, sorry that we're trying to play a game here and have your input, but okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for breathing.
I will mention to True as an aside that explain that she does have magic, and so just to be aware of it as far as future.
Okay. We'll get her sorted. Don't worry.
No, I just didn't want, we don't know a lot about her. She just escaped captivity and was enslaved, so we don't want her to. We don't know. We just don't know a lot about her, so we want her to feel comfortable, but at the same time, watch her.
Okay, sounds good.
Marcus playing his normal paranoid self. John playing his normal paranoid self.
All right, so everybody gets settled in for the evening. You're setting watches. That's fine. Go ahead. Tell me who's first, second, third.
I'll take the first watch.
I'll do second.
Are we doing 2 per watch or just 1?
That's you guys.
I'd like
I'll
some
do-
company.
I'll do a second. I'll do a second.
Rhux will do third.
The bird's always on watch.
Never sleeps.
Well, the bird's always on watch until
It actually
somebody
doesn't.
shoots him, and then he's dead, and then he's no longer on watch.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yes.
Then Praedyth's awake and he kills people.
Yep.
First watch goes by fine. Second watch, not an issue. By the third watch, it starts to the clouds start to come in, and the morning wakes up a bit overcast. 30th.
That would be a long rest, correct?
It is a long rest, yes.
Yay. I have all my hit points back.
Yep, that's awesome.
Hit dice.
Yeah, I've been needing my HP.
Morning comes, and True, when some of you are coming out, True standing there is like, one of the first ones here.
I'm ready.
Cole's ready.
All right, so I'll go in with Cole. If anyone else wanna,
She heads down the planks and comes back and brings back up a. Where's my list of people? A woman, and it seems like I have a lot of women here.
Down, Hylough, down.
Yes, a woman who, as she comes up the gangplank and starts walking on the ship, definitely looks like she's been on a ship before. Like she's, it's overcast. The sea is rocking, or the bay is rocking a little bit.
She's got her sea legs.
She's definitely got her sea legs. She follows you into the captain's quarters, where I'm assuming Aaron is sitting behind a desk. And True says, "This is Ennui. Ennui, this is our captain. Captain, do you have a last name, Captain?"
Bear.
Captain Bear? Yes, Captain Bear. I am the first mate. You've met me already. We've spoken at the tavern. Ask away your questions. And give us a little bit more information. I mean, I know what you do, but give more information to the captain here. Ennui kind of cracks her neck a little bit, and she looks at Aaron for a bit and is like, "Really? You got a half elf for a captain? Does he even know how the sea works?"
Racist.
You should fire her right away. I think no.
She says, "Well, I've already talked to your first mate here, although at the time she didn't say she was the first mate, but a little scary that this ship might be. Anyway, I used to be the master at arms on the Ostra. It was a sky ship, actually, out of Darathir. Out of Caer Darathir, actually. But I left said ship after a short disagreement with the second mate. He felt that he should make advances upon me. I felt that his nose should be broken. I won. He did not. But that's kind of was not tolerated by our captain, he being the second mate and all, and so we parted ways. I'm now looking for a new berth. Said I was master at arms in the previous one. I didn't notice any cannon on board cannon ports when I was coming on board. So I'm assuming most of the weaponry you have aboard would be the traditional flintlocks, sabers, that sort of stuff. Is that correct, Captain?
That would be correct.
Don't we have ballista as well?
Oh yeah, that
you do
is
have two
true. We
ballista,
do have
but
ballista.
she specifically said she didn't notice any cannon ports. So.
Yeah, no, I got that. I'm just making sure.
Didn't notice many. Well, when you're coming aboard, there was the morning crew was starting to do stuff. So your current crew, which is wow, it's already gotten up to like 5 or 6 at this point. Actually, you had the 3 plus the 1 girl plus Rat and Perry was 6 already. Plus you just added Ariana, who's kind of standing in the middle of the deck and has a mop and is just kind of slowly moving it in circles and basically just leaving puddles as opposed to really mopping the deck. But it's a start. It's a start.
Yeah.
So you already have 7 crew members actually. So if you're only looking to get to 10, you only really need 3 more. And according to True, you've got 4 people coming today to kind of check out the ship. So Anwi's like, I noticed you have some members of crew up there. They looked a little green, if you ask me. One of them definitely looked really green. You should tell him to actually be throwing up on the back side of the ship, not over near the dock.
What's throwing up?
So what are you guys looking for? And can you give me more information about this ship that I potentially would be joining?
As you have noted, we do have sort of a green crew. So we're sort of just looking for some veterans, if you will, to teach up the crew, make sure they can function, not leave puddles when mopping.
I see. I noticed that there's how many of you are actually in the captain's quarters with?
I am in the captain's quarters.
I'm not there.
Marcus is the only one who's actually said it.
Okay. No, I'm just asking.
I'm
I'm
not.
asking.
I'm not.
How many of you were actually on deck already at this point?
I was.
Okay.
I'm on deck.
Rhux is he already set up his like a surgeon corner? Did he already do that?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you've had the ship for.
Yeah. If he already did that, he's
a
probably
week or
on
two,
deck.
so.
He's probably on deck actually doing stuff.
Okay,
There's
so
always things to do.
so she would probably think of Iylis, Hylough, and Rhux as part of the crew at this point. This is an FYI.
Reasonable.
Because you're probably up. You may not be doing anything, but you're up on the deck. So she says, I noticed you have a few guys out there that didn't seem to be doing too much. What's the discipline on this ship? It seems a little lax already, from what I can tell.
Well, our first man is not to be taken lightly, as it were. But otherwise, not the strictest of discipline. There are some more leisure hours given, but we do have specialists. Like, as you may have saw, the Alec was around.
Mm-hmm.
He is our surgeon, so he's not necessarily required to be, say, mopping the deck all day or anything like that.
Fair enough. And do you need a master of arms?
I feel like we do.
Let me check my sheet real quick.
Check my sheet real quick.
We do.
I imagine we do.
That is a yes. We are in need of a master of arms, yes.
And you're the captain. And you're the first mate. She turns and points at you, Marcus. It says,
I would be the quartermaster.
Who are you?
I would be the quartermaster. I would be paying.
Let's see. All right. Tour?
Let's go right away.
Sorry. When she says
Like
tour
of duty.
what is a tour of duty? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not tour of the ship. It's a ship.
Got it.
Pretty sure she has a pretty good idea what that is.
I mean, this one doesn't fly.
No, it does not.
It's true.
What's the tour for? What's the length of the tour?
Tour.
Where are we going?
Where are
Right now
we?
we're trying to go to
Oh,
Emerald.
no.
Yeah, we're going to Emerald.
But I figured maybe we'd just do like a round trip or something like that.
We're going to be merchant work.
Like maybe a few days.
It really depends on the whims of some not organized people.
Going from here to Emerdal is probably about a week trip because you're tacking into the westerly winds. It's actually faster to come back. So a there and back kind of trip is like 7 days to Emerdal and about 3 to 3.5 days back. just as a reminder.
2 weeks at least.
The very least,
you can always say it's an open-ended tour. I mean, you don't have to.
It is an open. The first journey will be a month.
Yeah, at the very least, it's going to be 1 week, but otherwise, it's open-ended, and we'll.
Fair enough.
I guess figure out your hours.
It's not figuring out. She's on the ship. You pay her per diem. That's basically the way it works. Unless you're pirates, in which case then it's based on a share. I don't hear you guys being pirates, so.
Unless
as Praedyth was saying,
other
we
pirate
take
way where
you
paying
guys,
wages.
Yeah, you're basically just paying wages. You guys, it seems a little risky, but you definitely could use some more veteran crew. What's the first port of call after this one?
Emerdal.
Well, remember, Emerdal is at the far end of the Sea of Tears.
Oh, so that'd be Calastria?
Yeah, Calastria is in the middle. You don't have to stop there. You can always go all the way. I'm just she's kind of just asking where your first port might be. Calastria? Okay. I think I'm in if you're... What are you paying?
What did we decide for an average crew? What was the normal?
So remember, for crew itself, it's like 2 silver a day.
But the officers are different.
But officers would be basically the equivalent of a gold piece a day.
So she would probably get a gold piece a day, being the master of arms.
Master at arms. Yep.
So yeah, a gold piece a day.
A gold piece a day. Yeah.
That's acceptable. I'm in.
Very good.
I have a few things to attend to in the city before I'm ready to go. What's the departure date?
Leave in
within the
2
week.
days.
2 days
in the week.
It's reasonable. Within the week will probably be.
All right.
And we have some things to settle up as ourselves. So.
Okay. It should probably take me a day to settle everything up. If that's acceptable, then I'll be back on the ship tomorrow.
We'll see you then.
If this is amenable to all involved, not to assume.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
I will see you then. And Captain, First Mate, Quartermaster. You can
Marcus.
also potentially be second mate too. I mean, there's multiple.
Yeah. Okay. Second mate.
No, she didn't really like her last second mate.
Yeah, and she kind of heads out the thing, looks around the ship a little bit, kind of nods towards Hylough and Iylis who are doing stuff, and then heads off the gang, waves back at you guys, and heads off on the gangplank.
I see. She doesn't like me already. Nice.
Just didn't really notice you.
Yeah, I'll go out to Hylough. Hylough, she's a little she had some trouble with the second mate, so seems.
Don't hit on her.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think she would be amenable.
That's exactly
She does not do well with being hit.
No. She's an older woman. She's out of my league.
Yeah, she's older than 13, so I mean.
No. You told me she was like she was like 16.
Yes,
or
I know. The other one is
17.
16 or 17. You are correct.
And I'm 19, so I'm not. Like,
yeah, I know.
And
anyway,
I'm being a gentleman.
All right. About 45 minutes later, another person arrives. Comes on up, and he kind of looks. He's a tall guy, maybe about 6'3", pretty muscular. As he kind of heads up onto the thing, he looks around and sees. Well, actually, True would have went down and brought him up. True brings him in. He says, "My name is Matt." Actually, Matt. 2 guys come in. Matt and Artek. Matt and Art we're coming together. They say Matt does the speaking though. Art is basically about half, well, a little more than half at Matt's side. He's about 4.5 feet tall. And definitely looks dwarfish. Like he looks like he's a dwarf.
Okay.
But he's clean shaven.
Don't discriminate against
height.
No,
he's clean shaven though. So a little odd in that sense.
The dwarf is he stocky?
Yeah, he's stocky. I mean, it's clear.
Okay, so he's stocky like a dwarf.
He is a dwarf. It's
okay,
just
got
he's
it.
shaved. He's shaved off his beard.
Do they do that for specific reasons?
You're not sure. Matt says, "I'm Matt. This is Art here. We were members of. We used to be on the Marea Roja, but she left port a week ago and left us behind. Picked up a new crew, actually. Picked up a new crew. So we were just looking for a new berth, but we wanted to make sure that we fit with the rest of this crew. He's like, Artie, what do you think here? And Art kind of looks at the two of you guys and looks at True and then just kind of single quick nod. Doesn't say anything, just a single quick up down yes of his head. Like, so Artie seems to think you're okay. If he says you're okay, then I guess that's good enough for me. That's literally all Matt says, is the whole thing. That's everything he says.
So
fantastic. May I ask what duties you shall be performing? Just your normal
whatever you need us to. We did let me see. We were rigger. We did stuff in the rigging on the Marea Roja. Art was able to fire cannons. And then Art, and then Matt backs up just a little bit so that Art is in front of him, and he says that's why he can't say anything or speak. He kind of lost all of his hearing and
artillery.
Yeah, from shooting cannons without any kind of thing. One kind of went off right next to him, and ever since then he's been deaf and hasn't spoken. So and then he kind of moves back forward. Clearly, he's trying to make it so that Art doesn't read his lips, basically.
Right. Do their hands, I mean, can I do perception? Do they look like they're sailors like that? Their hands are rough and...
Go ahead. Give me a perception check as you kind of are looking them over. Also, moving forward, I've been reading more and more about perception and investigation, and I'm going to start probably making it as an option for you so you can choose which one you want to do. Because they're both kind of the same thing. It's just a question of whether which one is the way you're going to do it. One, perception is kind of like you're just kind of noticing things, whereas investigation is you're kind of really looking over things. But they're both the same. Okay. I'm just going to have you pick. Anyway, then, so you do which do you want to do?
I'd rather do investigation, which would make that a 12.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so you kind of are inspecting them over and looking them over. They're both tattooed. Like a typical sailor might be. I mean, not all sailors are tattooed, but they're both tattooed. You do notice on Matt's arm is a similar tattoo to what you saw on Blinby's arm, sort of marking him as potentially a member of the Kraken. So that's a little odd that he would have a tattoo like that, but it's also possible he just has it because he thinks it looks cool too. So. You'd have to look at it more closely to determine if it's actually a Kraken tattoo or if it's just, something that he thinks.
Okay, I'll try to.
I like literally, you're gonna have to have him show it to you. Like it's that.
Okay.
Like he's gesticulating and stuff like that.
That's some interesting work on your arm. May I see it?
Okay. And he kind of holds out his arm, looking it over.
We had an old crew member who had a good friend of ours who had similar tats.
I don't know. Did she get it? Did she get it here in Mirabar?
I'm not sure where she got it, honestly.
I got it here like 3 days ago, actually. And looking at it now, you can see it's a bit more raw than you originally noticed because he was moving so much. And indeed, it is slightly different. Some of the things that because you've seen Kraken tattoos in a couple places that are supposed to be there are missing. So he probably just got something he thought was cool.
I'll take care of it. I'm sure it looks nice. It's very good.
Cool. Thank you. I think it looks cool too. Hurt really bad when they made it though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything worth doing will hurt.
Yeah. So that's what we did. We were, I don't know. What did they call us? Schwabs? Swabs. That's what it was.
So why did they get rid of your crew?
I don't know. I think that particular ship, the Roja, tends to just replace the crew every time they stop. Because we literally just got on at Calastria when they came here this direction. They hired us there. They got here. They didn't rehire us. I don't think we did anything wrong, Art. Did we? He kind of leans forward a little bit to make sure Art can see him. Art kind of sits there and seems to think for a moment, and then he just shakes his head once, no.
So in this world, is it common dwarves without a beard? Do we know anything about that? Is there something like it's a sign of dishonor, or is it a normal thing for some? Unusual, but
just give me an intelligence check. I.e., give me time to think of whether or not it's unusual or not.
Well, with my rolling, there you go.
You don't know. You know that there's sort of two cultures of dwarves. There's city dwarves, i.e., dwarves, or the clanless as they're called. They live in human cities. They don't live in the known citadels that are still around. They're supposedly, in theory, they're people from some of the citadels that have fallen thousands of years ago, or a couple thousand years ago. So maybe the clanless, this guy might be a clanless, and maybe they do it more frequently. I mean, it's not something you've noticed in your 20 years, mostly because you've been on the docks, and any dwarf you've seen in Margali has had a beard. And most of them that you've seen have been merchants that have come from Everdal. So the few that you've seen since leaving there have all had beards, but you've only seen a few. This is the first one you've ever seen without a beard.
Okay.
And he shook his head up once, yes once, and no once, and he's not said a single word so far. So
it'd just be normal crew rate, right?
These guys definitely, if you're just hiring them as normal crew, they'd be a couple silver.
Yeah, they'd just be a couple normal crew.
I don't see any reason not to hire them.
Oh, we'll tell them we'll go as far as Calestra and see how it goes there. We'll go perhaps.
Okay, well, at least you get us back to Calestra. That was at least a start. So, yeah, we're in. Right, Art? All right, it's like.
I keep wanting to say Jay and Silent Bob. Okay. I don't think that's what you're going for.
It's not my intent, but it's kind of what came out of it, yes. It's not my intent.
It really, especially like the squat, kind of bulky guy.
It was not my intent, but that's what kind of fell out of it.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're thinking. I know where you're picking it up from. Again, it's not what I'm trying to do, but it's funny nonetheless. I'll go with it.
It would be really amusing if
I'll lean into it. It's fine. So those guys, Matt says, I guess we'll go get our stuff and join the crew then.
Yeah, everyone look at True and the captain.
True. First mate, captain, right? All right. I think we're good to go.
Second mate. All right.
Gotcha. Is there anybody else we need to be worried about who can give us commands and stuff? Because we don't want to get in trouble or anything.
Yeah, well, I'll go out and point out the rest of our
team.
So
you point out the rest of the, in essence, command,
players, the PCs.
Command crew. All right, and they're like, "All right, we got it."
Not on the.
You're not on deck. You're up below.
Praedyth below deck.
I'll describe Praedyth. I mean, be careful. He's kind of prickly, but he's a good guy.
What are you doing, Praedyth? Below decks.
Praedyth is he's praying and also going through his notes that he took while he was talking to Marcus's mother yesterday and comparing it to whatever research he has prior to see if there's any ruins that he might,
or anything like that. Okay, all right, we'll come back to that then. All right, so about an hour after that, one more person comes up, and one more person approaches the gangplank, and True brings her up. She comes in, and she's a very tall, thin, gangly kind of woman with slightly grayish skin. Tall in the sense of like she's about 6'2". As a woman, that seems that's relatively tall for women. But she's not. She's very thin. Lithe might be the right word, but not exactly. Like it looks like she just hasn't eaten enough more than anything else. She plops into the chair in front of your thing, and she's like, she looks at you for a little bit, Aaron, before she says, "Do you have Verduran blood in you?" That's literally the first question out of her mouth.
Yes.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen a elf Verduran mix. Huh.
Captain is unique.
My father was Verduran. Actually, I'm renaming them Valinir, so it's Valinir. So I should really start saying it. Huh. Oh well. Anyway, it's just interesting. Small world, I guess. Name's Iylis. I was on the Onda d'Oro, and in fact, I was the second mate on the Onda d'Oro. However, about 3-4 days ago, 4 days back. Well, I came in here 4 days back on the Sunbeam, because the ship I was on was attacked by some pirates, and sunk. I was picked up by the Sunbeam, and then was being brought here when it was attacked. So my luck has not been so great over the last week or so.
What pirate were they? The same bunch of pirates?
I don't believe so. I believe it was let's see, a red-haired pirate with a fiery beard, but an eye patch.
Yes, I've heard of him.
That was one that attacked us on the Sunbeam. The other one was actually a Verduran man, big, massive dude, massive man. Never seen him before, but
Did you happen to figure out his name?
no, I have not.
So
I was too busy trying to survive, Captain. So.
No, just curious.
Yeah.
So your first vessel was sunk completely. Did he take anything from you?
Attacked by pirates, yeah, and sunk in the straits between South Ferran and North Ferran, or yeah, the two islands. Actually, it should be.
That's quite a bit. So you just I've heard of this particular pilot, and I didn't know he. No.
What she described is not Mad Dog.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Mad Dog
okay, never mind.
Was white hair and stuff like that.
Okay,
and
I don't know why I want to say he had red beer.
No, he didn't. He
okay, never mind. Dog, my suspicions are fine.
Mad Dog Reed was an orc, was a half orc, and this is not what she just described. No.
Okay. Well, then I won't ask that question. Then
okay,
I won't be suspicious.
Yeah, it's up to you if you want to be suspicious or not.
Yeah, well, I will. So, Captain.
What?
Not cat.
Captain, not Catherine. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you said cat.
Yeah, I understand that one. I can figure that one. I believe that. She's like, I was a second mate on the Doro. I don't necessarily need to be that. I'm perfectly happy to do whatever is necessary. I just want to be on a ship. I like sailing.
Do you have any? No, that's not a good question. Never mind. Well, do you have any questions about our ship?
What do you guys normally do? Do you transfer cargo?
Yeah, we're mainly in the cargo. We're mainly cargo transferring.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have passengers, but right now we're mainly cargo.
I mean, what are we talking about? Like, 100 barrels, 200 barrels, crates.
We're actually working up to it. Like you may have known, that the crew is relatively green, so we're.
I didn't notice. It did seem like there's a lot of training going on out there.
Yes. So
that's why we could use some experienced sailors such as yourself.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind helping us train up our crew a bit.
Well, I don't know. Where are you headed next?
We may stop at Calastria, but our end goal of right now is Emerdal.
Well, I think I'm gonna need to think about it a little bit, and green crew and all is a little concerning, and sounds like your cargo business is on the low end side at this point, so probably not a lot of chance of a bonus or anything like that. So I think I might. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
And she stands up and kind of nods at you a little bit and says, "Huh, an elf, a fae, Valinir. Huh. Who would have thought I'd ever meet something like that?"
So, do elves not captain ships?
No. The fae are. How many elves or half elves have I ever told you you've seen in this campaign so far? Like one.
Okay.
They're just the fae are very reclusive, so.
Got it.
So it's more of that.
So it's not like they're necessarily. It's like cursed to have a elf on the ship. It's just they're really
you've seen
unusual.
You've literally seen 3 elf potentials in the entire campaign so far. The one girl that was with you on the cast ship,
the crazy one.
Yep. Aaron. Actually, I should also say Dresd'a is also half elf, but and then there was one guy there's one guy you've met that was also half elf. I can't remember if it was a tavern owner or an inn owner, but they're not very many of them.
Okay.
And Iylis kind of gets up and nods at you and says, "Thanks for talking with me," and then heads down the gangplank and off down the docks.
May the fate shine upon you.
Mm-hmm.
Fortune shine upon you.
And that's the 4 people that...
With luck like that, we probably got lucky. Someone who's gotten 2 parrots.
Yeah.
That's very ill luck.
That is ill luck. At this point, you now have, maybe about half an hour later, Art and Matt come up on the ship, and True starts showing them around and finds them a bunk down below, and then starts getting him to work. And at this point, we will call it for the night as we start to head towards the next set of things, being getting that mask and going to the ball.
And the Ironwood tree.
And the Ironwood tree, which we'll talk about next time on our Red Skies here. All right.
Excellent.
Until next time.